Check, 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 check. All right. All right. Finally. Holy crap. I apologize for that, guys. New mic. I'm still trying to figure this out. So, welcome, Raptor Freaks. It's Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning. I've lost all of y'all's comments because I had to delete the old stream. But yeah, it's stupid. I don't know what happened. I think that what I need to do is check that I'm using the Yeti, and it was using my default mic and it was cutting it out and I didn't even realize it. So I see a level. So I see that you can hear me now. All right, y'all, let's do this right now. All right, let's get right into it. Latest lineup news for the game tonight. My apologies for the idiocy of today so far. It's kind of funny and we won't get too upset about it. We'll just go right back into doing it. Right. All right. I apologize once again, guys. The mic is troubleshooting. I'm trying to figure out how to use it. And I guess there's a setting that says it was on default mic and it wasn't reading this mic. So that's what the problem was. All right, let's get right into it, guys. The injuries for the Memphis Grizzlies tonight are as follows. Derrick Rose, who was added to their team this offseason to help mentor Ja Morant, he got hurt last night in the game against the Spurs, and it's his left knee thigh. So he may be day-to-day today, may not play. Of course, Brandon Clark and Steven Adams have been out for a while, the bigs for the Memphis Grizzlies from surgery. Clark's supposed to be back around All-Star, and Adams will be lucky if he gets back before the playoffs. Now, the team for the Grizzlies is interesting at this point. They're very small, so I feel like we can play a mouse in the house on them no matter what because they're playing a three-guard lineup with Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, and Desmond Bane. And then, of course, they've got Jaren Jackson Jr., the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and Bismack Biyombo, former Raptor legend, is the center for the Grizzlies right now. That's going to be fun. Now, we need to watch out for Luke Kennard off the bench. He's a great three-point shooter, somebody that in the role that's kind of been killing us this year. It's like these third or fourth three-point shooters on the team are the guys who are going off on us. So let's really watch for Luke Kennard tonight, Raptors. This could be very important. Of course, Santi Aldama, the Spanish big man, is a big part of their bench right now. He's a very versatile big player, and we need to watch out for him. And Vince Williams Jr. also off the bench. Zaire Williams, David Roddy, Xavier Tillman, John Conchar, Jacob Gilyard, and Jake LaRavia. That's basically their roster. In some ways, this team has less wins than us. But it's because Ja wasn't there for most of the time. And since he's come back, they've won. They went on a winning streak, then they went on a losing streak, and then they won last night. So the Grizzlies are kind of figuring it out again and coming back and doing stuff the right way. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for calling me, y'all, and trying to tell me what was up. I had no idea because it sounded like it was coming through my headphones. It's just, I don't know. It's a disconnect with the computer and the new microphone that I just didn't realize I got to troubleshoot before I start the stream. And I think I figured out what I need to do to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. So, yeah, it's really weird situation this morning. We'll move past it. Our injuries are as such. Christian Coloco will not play today. But listen, and Tom was talking about it in the other stream, and I apologize for that. Tom, family friend of the Porter family, telling us that Jonte has traveled with the main squad. Of course, Michael Grange reported it yesterday also that Jonte is with the Raptors on this West Coast trip as another big to back up things. And I was just saying on the other stream that I feel like Jonte will play tonight because of his connections with the Grizzlies franchise and Darko's connections with the Grizzlies franchise. This is a homecoming in some ways for Darko Rajakovic. He has very close friends on that team on the Grizzlies. He worked with them for a couple years. And a lot of the players really like him, like Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. So this will be an interesting matchup. In some ways, it's a little bit friendly. It's a little bit friendly because of Darko's relationship with the Grizzlies franchise. You know, the other thing is it's kind of the unofficial Naismith Cup. It's Toronto versus the Grizzlies. And historically, it was Vancouver, but now it's Memphis. So in some ways, it's the unofficial Naismith Cup, as always. So we'll have to, that's always fun to get behind there. All right, let's do the ref report real quick. I did such a good job earlier, too, guys. I feel bad. All right, our crew chief is James Capers Jr., his 30th year out of Chicago, Illinois. His favorite TV show is Blackish. His favorite movie is Malcolm X. His favorite musician is Jill Scott. His favorite book is The Shack. And it's not the Shack that we know on NBA TNT. Favorite meal, lobster roll at Martha's Vineyard. His favorite app is Pandora, and he's a very good bid whist player. Yeah, there you go. In addition to his experience, NBA experience, Capers spent 6 years as a referee in the CBA, where he officiated 3 finals and 2 All-Star games. Now, that is how you know he's an old ref, that he refereed in the CBA. That's before the D League, y'all. That's like way, way back, way, way back. Now, Capers is the worst ref for us today, but they all 3 favor us, guys. We had James Capers earlier this season already. We lost the game he reffed the last time. We win 45% of our games when James is around, and the Grizzlies win 38%. So the split is 45-38 for the Raptors with the crew chief, and he is our worst ref tonight. He's the one I'm not going to trust tonight because James Capers, I said this on the stream before that didn't come through with the audio. I feel like James Capers is one of these refs that's kind of American, who kind of like looks down on the Toronto team as the Canadian team, and he kind of gives the Canadian discount to us. I really do get those vibes from him. Brett Mansell out of Montana is the second ref, his 9th season. He's one of a top 10 ref for the Raptors as far as win percentage. He's a good guy for us. He likes anything on the outdoor channel to watch on TV. His favorite movie is Top Gun. His favorite musician is Alan Jackson. His favorite book is Wooden. His favorite meal is barbecue ribeye steak. He'd most like to visit Australia. He'd like to catch a 1,000-pound marlin fish. And his hidden talent is he can play the tenor saxophone like Lisa Simpson. So, yeah, the Montana native has worked as a wildland firefighter from 1997 to 2001 and a high school history teacher from 2002 to 2014. So Brett Nansel has a couple of different lives. A firefighter, that's really impressive, honestly, especially around Montana where there may be some wildfires out there threatening his state. So good stuff, Brett Nansel. You're a hero, man. We won the last game that Brett refereed for us this season, which is good because we haven't won a whole lot this year. And we win 70% of our games when he's present. Like I said, he's just below Tyler Ford as far as one of the best refs for the Raptors. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, win 58% of their games. So the split is 70%, 58%, Brett Nansel for the Raptors. The third ref is Scott Wall, another 30-year ref. So we got some 2 old heads on our ref crew tonight. Jacksonville, Illinois is where he's from. His favorite show is NCIS. He likes James Bond movies. His favorite musician is Tim McGraw. His favorite book is Mitch Rapp series. He likes pot roast. And I was expounding on how pot roast is such a humdrum kind of normal everyday meal in everybody's lives. And why would you make that your favorite? Go get something more fancy, more extravagant, Scott Wall, than just pot roast, bro. That's your favorite meal. Come on, live a little, man. Get something a little better, man. Come on now. He loves to play Angry Birds. His bucket list is to skydive, and he'd like to visit Rome, Italy, y'all. Scott Wall, I was going to say John Wall. Scott Wall volunteers with Georgiana United Methodist Church on local mission programs. And his father, Bill, is a former USA basketball director. His mother, Patricia, is a former Southeastern Conference associate commissioner. So his parents were administrators of basketball bodies before him. So Scott Wall is not a bad ref for us for a 30-year ref. We win 54% of our games. We lost the last time he refed us. And the Grizzlies win 49% of their games. So 54-49, the split for the Raptors. All 3 referees statistically favor the Raptors over the history of their time and with these teams. Now, that makes sense because the Grizzlies have had a lot of bad periods of time in their history. So there's your ref report. James Capers Jr., Brent Nansel, and Scott Wall. Not the worst referee crew at all. Not the worst referee crew at all. And we'll see. James Capers is the one to watch out for. He may do some screwy shit in the game. So in some ways, I want to beat the Grizzlies by a lot because I don't want some sort of screwy thing to happen. This is a game that we need to win. We need to build off of the big win on Monday and be perfect in 2024. These new guys on our team make it exciting to see how we're going to meld together for the game plan against each team that we're going to play on this West Coast trip. And I'm excited to see how Darko organizes them, how these guys are used, and what we do. And hopefully it's all successful, and we find the way to get to Wednesday's W for today. That's right. It's Wednesday. Wednesday. And that means we try to win a lot on Wednesday. We've been winning a lot on Wednesday. So yeah, I'm all about it. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Technical difficulties this morning. In some ways, it's troubleshooting, just like the Raptors team. You got to figure out what's working and what isn't and fix it and get back on that horse and keep trying. That's right. Dana's saying, yay. And Bryce is saying, there he is. And Isaac's saying, W, like, and subscribe. Thank you, Isaac Campbell, holding it down in Ottawa. And Dana's saying, good morning, Lex. Happy game day. Chev is back. Yeah, I said something about that on the last stream, but it wasn't heard. I'm really happy that Chev's off of his suspension with YouTube, dropping his first clip yesterday to react to some major stuff in Raptors news. This whole week has been going by. One of the worst weeks Chev could be suspended. I'm sure he was like feeling it in some ways. It's like, but he's really happy to be back on. And I'm glad because we need more positive fan voices in Raptors fan nation to encourage people to be a little bit more optimistic, be a little bit more, look at the glass half full, be a little bit more encouraging and like, positive. There's too much toxic in our fan nation, and Chev is not a part of that. Neither am I. And that's why I applaud him and I appreciate him. And I want him to keep doing what he does because he's for good. That's right. Yes, the mic, Carl. Yes. Thank you, Ansley and Harrison and Carl for the microphone. It's a little bit of a work in progress figuring out how to use it in the correct way and get it right. In some ways I got it up higher now, so I don't have to lurch my back like lower early like yesterday. So it's a work in progress. I'm trying to figure out the best way to use it. And well, today we learned something else about it. And I'm going to make sure I avoid that mistake for the time going forward. Let's see. Trevor's saying, good morning, Raptors family. Happy game day. Let's go. I love seeing Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett in those emotes that you've got there of the team. I know we had RJ already in the emotes from the summer for FIBA, but Tom coming in and adding Emmanuel Quickly in the middle of the night as the emoticon gnome. Thank you, Tom Duke. You're awesome. And I hope you're doing really well in Victoria, British Columbia. Tommy, we miss you. And when you come back, we'll be so happy to say hi if you come back anytime soon. Stargate saying, working now. That's right. Man, I had no idea what it was either. And yeah, I did do 18 minutes without noticing. Y'all were laughing at me. And it was fine. I mean, and I saw y'all were calling me too. I was like, why is my phone ringing so much? Y'all were trying to call me and tell me that I wasn't working. Well, I appreciate that. You guys have got my back. Let's see. Troy Henry saying, ready. It's a 60% chance win tonight as we're playing a back-to-back team. Just hope we can pull it off. Yeah. I mean, this is in our favor. Now, they played in Memphis last night, and they didn't have to travel overnight. So in some ways, those are the easier back-to-backs. I wish we got back-to-backs like that instead of having to go from Boston to Detroit like that. I wish we would get back-to-backs where we just stayed home for both games. No, our back-to-backs are always something where we're either home and going somewhere else next or vice versa, or we're going from away to away. And it's very rare that the Raptors get a home and home back-to-back like the Grizzlies are getting tonight. In some ways, that is going to be a factor. And hopefully we can tire them out. So we'll have to see. Let's see. Carl's saying, good morning, freaks. Good morning, Carl. Thank you once again, my man. And Space Cadet saying, Lex, your mime game was impressive. Welcome back. I've actually practiced mime and studied it for legit, like in a clown school. And I actually do know how to do the mime properly, like the great mimes that you would see in the park or mime performers that are famous, like Marceau. So I do have professional training in miming. It's funny. Let's see. MSJ saying, game on, everyone. That's right. Mic on, Chris. Also, Paul B saying, welcome back. I'm so excited to see Quickly's ball out. 4 fouls have had to hinder his game. Once again, I'll say, like I said yesterday, Paul B, I think the fouls helped us. It's interesting that both OG and Emmanuel Quickly got in foul trouble in their debuts for their new teams. That kind of signifies that these guys are aggressive players that go all out. And in some ways, they're on new teams. There's going to be maybe different whistles for them. Like, I don't know. I think it's very interesting that OG fouled out because he didn't never hardly foul out for the Raptors. I can't even remember the last time he ever fouled out for the Raptors. Seriously, he would never foul out for us. And then Quickly, there's an adjustment. These guys are learning the new defenses for their teams. And in some ways, there's going to be a little bit of like overplaying and maybe over aggressiveness. And that may be part of why I think this won't be a problem. I think there was a blessing in disguise that quickly got in foul trouble in the first game that he played, because in some ways he did what he needed to do in the first quarter. He played pretty much the whole first quarter, and we scored the hell out of them. 41 points in the first quarter of the game on New Year's Day against the Cavs. And that got us the lead. And really, we won the game in the first quarter, and we held them off for the whole rest of the game. And, that's awesome. So listen, it's going to be interesting to see the Quickly effect. The Quickly effect is we're going to be watching his plus minus and seeing how much we're winning when he's on the court and keeping leads and getting leads. That kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. Chris is saying technology will always get you. Glad to hear Jonte is on the trip. I'm very interested to see what he can do. I think he's going to get to play. In fact, I was saying on the other stream, I don't know if I said it here, I'll repeat myself, that I think that because it's Memphis, because that's where Jonte originally started his NBA career, and also Darko's returning to Memphis, that there's a good high chance that Jonte will play tonight. That in some ways, I'd much rather see him step in as the backup center behind Jakob than Thaddeus Young tonight. If there's any minutes that are going to go to Thad Young tonight, Ray Yakovich, maybe you should consider giving them to Jonte Porter, because we'd like to get him to start being integrated with our team. He's playing at a high enough level. Trust me. He's playing at an NBA level. He's played very well for Motor City Cruise and now for 905. So I think he's ready, and I would highly like you to play Jonte Porter tonight, at least for 5 minutes, if not for a longer stint. That would be great. Let's see. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Rapid Free Crew. Take two. The mic check works. Check, mic, check. I shouldn't do that. I don't want to mess with y'all's ears. But yeah, my friend Dwayne used to always do. He was in a band and he played drummer, and he'd do the mic check like this. He'd say, testes, 1, 2, 3. Testes. Oh, it's so dumb. Such an infantile joke by my good friend Roger Dwayne Carroll down in Florida. Oh my gosh. I miss you, Roger. I miss you, Dwayne. Oh, so stupid. It's a funny joke though. Let's see. Trevor's saying, hang on. Trevor, I did your words of wisdom, just so you know. Every morning has a new beginning, a new hope. It's a perfect day because it's God's gift. Have a blessed, hopeful, perfect day to begin with. Yes, Trevor J. I love it. It's a new year. It's a new Wednesday of a new year, and it's time to get going with 2024. And the Raptors have a lot more promise, a lot more optimism, a lot more interesting things. It's like I'm really looking forward to watching the game tonight. I'm sure a lot of y'all are too, because we want to see more of RJ and Quickly on our team and how they're going to meld with Scotty and Pascal and the rest of them. And I'm just excited. It's exciting to watch Raptors games. In some ways, there's a little bit of dread this season so far about, there's another game tonight and we're playing Philadelphia. A little bit of that going on. But now you can bounce out of bed and kind of be like, yeah, I'm ready to watch the Raptors play the Grizzlies tonight because, man, we got a new team and I want to test them some more against tough competition. This is going to be what this West Coast trip is all about. We're going to the gauntlet. We're going to play the Lakers and the Clippers on a back-to-back. We're going to play the Jazz. We're going to play a whole bunch of teams on this trip, and we're going to get different levels of tests. And I'm excited for it. Tonight's a good test. We'll have to see how the Raptors do. I'm confident. I think we can beat this team tonight. I think that they've lost a lot this year already. I think that in some ways we need to do smart things with John Morant and their three-point shooters. That's a really important part of this game. Watching out for them, Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard, those kind of guys. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited. I think that we can be mouse in the house on them. That three-guard lineup, we should bully ball them. I don't care who it is. If it's RJ, if it's Scotty, if it's Pascal, whoever's getting the small guard in the matchup tonight, they need to go to them. That matchup's going to be there every single time because of personnel. We're playing 3 forwards, a center, and a guard in our starting point guard. Starting in our starting lineup, and they're playing 3 guards and 2 bigs. So yeah, we need to find who the little is on the big and go and abuse that the whole entire game. If you're not doing that, you're wasting. You're wasting food. You're throwing out in the garbage, and you need to go get that food out of the garbage and eat it. That's what I say right there. Yeah, Jillian say, yeah, we're back. We're back, baby. We're back, baby. Trevor's saying, I saw that news yesterday about Jonte going to be on the road with the Raptors. This is great news. Fantastic news. I don't know if it's true for Javon or Marquise. In some ways, Marquise, it's more important for him to run that other team, because we do have a lot of guards now on the main roster, and Marquise is just going to have to wait a little bit. And in some ways, he should be showing his team leadership and running that team down there. It's very much like Fred. When he came to 905, he didn't really come up a whole lot his first year, because in some ways he was running the squad down there and he was needed down there. And that's your show, Marquise. In some ways, the 905 is you showing what you do as a leader and a point guard of the team. So don't take that lightly. Do really well and take that opportunity and kick butt. You'll get up on the other roster. As you will eventually, but you got to do the work down there. And Javon, I don't know where you're at. You could be either with the team or on 905. In some ways, I feel like you should be on 905 because they need you more down there. They really do. They're going to need your scoring. They're going to need your energy. And it probably managing it. If I was going to do anything, I'd send Jonte to the main squad and leave those other two guys with the 905 for now. I don't even know if Grady's on this trip with them. I don't think he is. I think that he's staying home and he's going to be doing his weight training program, and then he'll be playing with the 905 when he's ready to start playing again. So I don't even think Grady's going on this road trip with them this time, but I may be wrong. We'll see. We'll have to see if he's sitting around on the bench tonight. Let's see. Jillian saying, Troy, it's a 60% chance of winning. I like these odds. You know, if that's what they're saying on ESPN in the little preview box, they do that. They put that up. They're saying 60% win percentage for us. Hey, I believe that. You know, in some ways, we're a new team as this calendar flipped, and they need to reassess how they look at us. If they don't want to pay attention, they're going to ignore it. Well, we're going to surprise people once again. As a franchise, the Toronto Raptors always doing much better than people expect. And well, if you think this is the Raptors of 2023, it's not anymore. And you go ahead and make that foolish mistake. We will capitalize on it. I'm all about that. Yeah, happy Wednesday. Let's get that win on Wednesday. I'm all about it. Mugabe's here. Good morning, Raptor Freaks. It's good for a W. Let's get a W tonight. Yes, Mugabe. And Troy saying, at Jillian, I said that because we can now never overlook another team. We did that too much this season and ended up with a result we didn't want it. This is true. In some ways, maybe this is part of the new professional look of us, is that we don't underestimate teams. In some ways, we're too casual about certain things. Well, we're not going to be anymore, hopefully, because of new leadership on our team and new guys. You know, RJ and Emmanuel really treat the things seriously. They really, really do. I love that RJ is going to stay near the OVO Center and work out constantly. That's all he's going to do. It's like, just because he's back in Toronto doesn't mean he's going to be living that home life. No, he's all about playing for the Raptors and being the NBA and taking care of things professionally and being the best pro that he can be. He's going to stay in his own little world. And that's the NBA world, and that's OVO Center, and that's the NBA schedule, and doing Toronto Raptors things constantly. Yeah, if you want to go be friends with him again, best friends from around Toronto, Mississauga, and hang out with RJ, get over yourself, because you ain't going to get that time. The man's busy. The man plays for the Raptors, and he's going on the road. He's on the road now, and that's what I'm saying. He's all focused on the team. He's focused on going to OVO Center every day, because that's what he does to stay the highest level pro that he can be. That's right. Never overlook. I hear you, Troy Henry. Chris is saying, I like having a IQ for this game, given Morant is out there. And given how Memphis is a kind of bigger team, Jonte is really likely to hit the court. Yeah, I don't know how much bigger they are without Adams out there. I mean, Bismack is not a full center. He can play center. He's strong enough, but he's not really a full center. And then there's Santi, and there's Jaren Jackson. And then after that, I mean Tillman, I guess. But really, they're not as big as you think they are. In fact, they're a smaller team than you think, Chris. And in some ways, we need to bully them. And I'm fully confident with Jakob. But if Jakob is too big for them, in some ways, Jonte may need to get out there and play there. Yeah, G's saying, I hope Jonte gets to play. Very curious to see how he plays with the new guys. Yeah, I'm all about that. I am all about that. Julian saying, Lex, can you put on the CC now, please? That would really be helpful with any weirdites. Thanks so much, man. I don't have control over that. A lot of what happens with these streams is added by YouTube over the day. Like the chat doesn't immediately get added to it. It's like the computers of YouTube and whoever's doing it, they add all this stuff like 5-6 hours after the stream. So if you want closed captioning, you're going to have to wait till they write it in. And it may not be till like 7 or 8 tonight. I have no control over that. That is a YouTube thing that they do. And there will never be closed captioning live with me. I'm not that important. Maybe on some channels that have tons of people watching, all of a sudden they can have closed captioning immediately for that person. I don't think they do that though. So yeah, it's not going to happen, Jillian. I apologize. I can't do that for you. Seymour saying that lip reading episode was something. Glad you're back from the mic trouble. Yeah, you know what it is? I think it was just a disconnect. It was wanting to go through the default, but I had it plugged in, so they're canceling each other out. I didn't even realize it. Of course, I just get right into it, and I'm not even realizing I'm not getting through. Stargate saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Tonight's game will be interesting. Hope the new guys got some practice in." Oh yeah, they did. I mean, these guys are smart, and in some ways, also playing for a basketball team, some of it is very like generic and basic, and people just pick up on it. It's kind of like it's the same, but it's not the same. And also at the same time, these guys really are eager to be successful right away, and they're not going to be standoffish. So they're just going to be voraciously taking in all the information as quickly as possible, and being smart about adjusting. So I think that they got practice in. Yeah, they did. They did practice yesterday morning, got on a plane, and they still found time to go to St. Jude's last night and stay overnight in Memphis. That's kind of becoming an annual thing. When we go to Memphis for our game against the Grizzlies, the Raptors team goes to St. Jude's Hospital in Memphis and visits all the kids there. And Emmanuel quickly, let's do the Instagram stories real quick, gave that away. Last night, Emmanuel on his Instagram at, I guess it's 15 hours ago from now, showing a clip of the Raptors getting a welcome at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. So that's awesome. I love that they went there still. I know that they went with Nick last year, but the Raptors as a group, they want to go there still. And I'm sure Darko's familiar with that hospital from his time working for the Grizzlies. So good stuff. Emmanuel letting it known on his Instagram that they were at St. Jude's last night. Let's see. Dennis is showing them getting the bags and going to get on the West Coast road trip. He's got quite a few bags there. Siakam doing a year-end review on his Instagram stories. You want to go see all these cool pictures of him and his amazing life on planes with wine and at the Eiffel Tower. And just, he's promising this for this year, guys. We saw Siakam go to the All-Star game this year, and he brought his camera. In fact, it was very reminiscent of Shaquille O'Neal back in the day at All-Star games. He was kind of playing off that, and he had a really good footage. I mean, it was really fun, the stuff that Siakam filmed at the All-Star game last year, and watching his raw clip. It's pretty funny. Well, he's promising for 2024, he's going to do more filming and more fun stuff, filming himself. So I like this, Siakam. You become more of a cinematographer. You're going to have that camera out more, and you're going to film more stuff. I'm all about it. We're here. Marquise Noel is going to do more stuff like Dennis Schroeder does. And if Pascal's going to do stuff like that too, I'm all about it. I'm all about more access to the Raptors, and especially seeing the cinematographer eye of Pascal Siakam and his fun with the camcorder at the All-Star weekend last year. So he's all about that camera in 2024, y'all. So be ready for more Siakam filming. Grady Dick getting put on blast by Drake Jeffries on his Instagram, so he reposted it himself. So yeah, it looks like Grady may be hanging around the 905 for a bit, just in this period of time while he's bulking up and the Raptors are out on the West Coast. So there you go. There's your Raptors Instagram stories real quick. There you go. Let's see. Bryce is saying, did you say they're going to play Jonte? I don't know for sure, but he is with them in Memphis. He is not with the other team, and they're going to play College Park tomorrow. He is with the regular Raptors, and he will be on this whole 6-game road trip with them out west. And that just makes so much sense. It really, really does. We need that size. Precious is gone. Koloko is hurt. And we don't have another big. It's just Jakob. And I don't count Thaddeus. Scotty, okay. We could say Scotty, maybe a little bit of Pascal. But yeah, we need Jonte with the main roster, and he is with them. I think he will play tonight. I'm going to say that's my prediction right now, Bryce, that he will play tonight. Wayne saying, Stephen A. not impressed by the trade. The NBA, I hear, is questioning Masai about this transaction. Let's discuss. Looking at it, Knicks really have to pay OG at least $34 million or he can walk. It's risky. Well, listen, I don't care if the Knicks are bad at trades. I don't care if the Knicks are idiots. I don't care if they have immediate buyer's remorse. This trade is official. It's done. And NBA, whatever you're doing, whatever, just stop. In some ways, this is awesome what happened. This is amazing that we got this trade to go through with the lawsuit going on right now as it's going on too, and all the other things about this. So whatever, you guys can't do this. Seriously, the rules were done correctly and fairly. And if anybody's trying to do takebacks, you need to just shut up. And it's dumb because it ain't happening. It's all been done and gone through, and everybody's where they're supposed to be right now. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Stephen A. Smith doesn't have to be impressed by it. He's an idiot. You know, the ESPN guys try to spin it as New York won the trade, but they know that's not true at this point. So whatever. Whatever. They can think what they want. They can say what they want. Reality is reality, and let's just go forward. That's how it is. That's right. Seymour saying Jonte got bumped up. That's right. Jonte is with the Raptors on the road trip as per Tom, family friend of the Porter family. Thank you, Tom, for your presence this morning. Sorry for the mic trouble earlier. But yeah, I'm so happy Jonte is called up. And it's very likely he's going to get to play. I'm telling y'all, it's very, very likely he's going to get to play. In fact, I'll speculate this. I'll say that he's going to get tryouts on this trip to possibly be the person who gets converted from a two-way into the full roster spot that's open on the Raptors right now. Seriously, if he shows a melding and a chemistry with the team right away, if he shows really good, solid decisions and plays at a high level, I could see Bobby and Masai converting him before they even come back from this road trip. It just depends on whether he gets in and what he does. And I would love this because honestly, I saw a lot of him on 905 already, and he's very solid. He doesn't have to score to do a lot of things to help them. And that's the great thing about it. In some ways, they're not going to need him to totally score, but he's good for threes. He's good for getting a basket if the shot clock's running down. But the other stuff is what I'm looking for, the rebounding, the block shots, the defense. And if he can do that kind of stuff for us, because that's kind of what we need from him right now, that'd be great. But I know the other stuff is there also. And I don't know. I think that this is a tryout trip for him. And if he gets time in there, he excels, they're going to convert him and they'll make him a full-fledged Raptor. And that would be smart, if you ask me. That would be smart. Yeah. Firebolt saying Jonte is with the team. Hang on, it jumped. It jumped right when I started to read it. No. Jonte's with the team for the road trip. Hopefully you see some time. I could see that. Mugarbe saying, Lex, I'm interested in how the American media started praising OG, talking about he's the best in his role since he got traded. Well, yeah, who cares? They're going to do that. They're going to do that. Honestly, it's just opening your eyes. It's lifting the veil. You can see the difference, the discrimination of how the Raptors are portrayed and put in the NBA spotlight versus the other teams. It's just a very, very good example. This stuff with Fred is similar to this, guys. There's a lot of stuff happening with Fred down in Houston now that is being said about him that wasn't said up here. In some ways, they start saying things like OG Anunoby, NBA champion. Fred VanVleet, NBA champion. They won't say it while they're here. Pascal Siakam, NBA champion. Say it, NBA. You don't want to say it, but you'll say it now when they go to another team. Just know that this is what this is, Mugarbe. In some ways, it's diminishing the shine and how we should feel about our team. Now, I want to say this to Raptors fans. Have you internalized the way that they treat us like this into yourself? And that's part of the reason why you're such a toxic Raptors fan, because you've internalized the shade, the disregard, the disrespect of the NBA proper towards the Raptors and giving it props, that you poo-poo what we do when we're successful because that's how they treat us. Yeah. You can see exactly what we're talking about here, Mugarbe and I, in the change with how Anunoby is going to get treated now that he's a New York Knick compared to being a Raptor. So open your eyes up, Raptors Nation, and realize that the NBA media, ESPN, the American NBA media, and even our Canadian NBA media are training you to hate the Raptors internally yourself. Really, seriously. And y'all fall for it, you idiots. I love the Raptors. I think they're badasses. I knew OG Anunoby was a defensive player of the year this whole time. And when he gets that award, well, it's a body of work award. It's not just for that 1 year in New York when he's going to get it. He won't get it this year, by the way. But it'll be for his whole body of work, including the many years he played very top-notch defense for the Raptors. So, yeah, that's how I look at it, Mugarbe, right there. That's beautiful. Bryce says, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Bellissimo. Oh, where's my Italian teacher, nameless? Bellissimo. He'd be so happy. He didn't even tell me to say that. Let's see. Jillian's saying, Lex, Country Kong went on about RJ being able to avoid OG's fouls with his Euro two-step. Jonesy really commenting on this last night, and IQ didn't foul out like OG did. Yeah, we protected him with not getting the fouls. Darko's really smart about how he used Quickly to not foul him out so that he was able to be available in the crunch time when we needed to take it home. So very smart coaching by Darko. Maybe not so much smart coaching by Thibodeau. I like what you guys are talking about as far as Country Kong and Jonesy, as far as with RJ. RJ moves through the lane much smoother than OG Anunoby. OG's very clunky. We know that he's been getting a lot of offensive bullying fouls. Like if he's trying to make a move to the basket, it's very likely he's going to either push off, lower his shoulder, or do something like that, and it's going to be a turnover for the Raptors, and he's going to get an offensive foul. Now RJ, he slips through there. He doesn't lower his shoulder like OG does. He stays up and he kind of moves like this, and he's very similar to Siakam in a way. He doesn't do this straight up spin, but he slithers. And I've said this about Siakam's offense going towards the basket. It's like water going through the cracks. You can have a very sealed like defense trying to stop him, like a wall, like we used to use on Giannis, or but Siakam is like water. He will seep through the littlest of crack and get through there, and he'll have a basket. And RJ is similar like that. He finds a seam between two defenders, and he bowls his way through there. And he has a way about doing it where he's not drawing offensive fouls. It's a beautiful thing. And he's more likely to get fouled himself because he keeps the ball high. That's part of it. He keeps the ball high. OG always kept it really kind of waist level. And RJ keeps it up near his head when he's kind of coming through the lane like that. And that's part of why he doesn't get those fouls that OG would in the same situation. G saying NBA questioned Masai on the injured Kawhi trade, old man Gasol trade, drafting Scotty over Suggs. Masai doesn't give a fuck. Plus, RJ's contract is going to look like a steal soon with the new cap. Yeah. Yes, and yes. I'm telling you, the Raptors front office doesn't do frivolous quick moves because they really think everything out. They really do plan everything out. Like this is like in New York, maybe just kind of like, yeah, we'll do that. Oh, okay. You really want us to take Malachi? All right, we'll take Malachi. We're really thinking everything through, and every little corner aspect of this deal that we just made is really awesome for us in all kinds of ways, whether it's a pick, whether it's the contract that RJ's on, whether it's the fact that we have Quickly as a restricted free agent next summer and a really good chance to re-sign him. So, yeah, the NBA is always going to gaslight us on every single thing we do. They're going to question everything. Well, they question Gasol. They question Kawhi. And look, we won the championship 5 years ago. So let them do what they're going to do. There's a difference between gaslighting reality of the press that they think is reality and then real reality. And sometimes they're not really lining up totally. And they just want the reality to be the perception. But in some ways, look, we went and won the championship in 2019, even though y'all told us the Warriors would. So, yeah, perception can be reality to an extent, but reality becomes reality at a certain point. And y'all can say whatever you want about the different trades Messiah has done. They've been badass, and this one is included in that. Bryce is saying RJ and IQ getting good bonding time with the team with this road trip. Completely agree. And I'm so excited about this. They know this too. And in some ways, this is going to be really fun. I really want to see Scotty and RJ become BFFs. I really do. I want them to be like him and OG was before, because I feel like they have a lot in common. I feel like there's a lot of fruitful interaction that can be talked about. And then they both grow and develop in different ways because of their friendship. And I'm all about it. I want them to be friends on the court, obviously, and friends off the court too would be badass. Let's see. Firebolt saying, I rewatched the Cavs game last night. I was just as excited the second time. It's an exciting time to be a Raps fan. Yeah. Listen, we've got a couple different things about our team that we haven't had, and Quickly is a big part of all of it. It really is. The fact that he plays like Maxey, and we have some sort of Maxey level kind of player pushing things and just being a dog and getting after it is really good. In some ways, the energy that Yuta Watanabe or Grady Dick will put out on the court is really it's infectious. And in some ways, Quickly, in the way he plays, it can infect our players too. And they will get after it a little bit harder and stronger also because they see Emmanuel doing it. And I love that. He's going to be a leader for that in some ways, Quickly with his kinetics and getting up and down the court and being everywhere. I love it. Firebolts, yeah, I love that you rewatched it too. Chris is saying to Jillian, the OG drives to the basket did seem to pick him up charges. RJ has that finesse. Don't you guys think? Yeah, I think in some ways he may have had to go through some of the same learning curve, and he's just been more successful in stopping from doing the offensive like hit outs and stuff. It's natural for you when you're running at a big man to want to put your arm out to protect yourself coming into them. But in some ways, that's not the thing you should do in the NBA, because you will probably get called the foul if you're pushing or your elbow or your shoulder. And that's the thing. RJ's not getting the contact initiated that way. He's coming in, and you're either going to hit him on the arm, and that's a foul on you, or you're going to body him, and that's a foul on you. But he's not trying to hit you. He's trying to get by you without touching you, just like Siakam. Just like Siakam. Excuse me. Ah! Sorry, I shouldn't have yelled. All right, Jillian saying, I can't wait to see more of this tonight. That's right. Yeah, Grizzlies, Raptors tonight, baby. Let's go. All right, let's see. Stargate saying, why do people still treat Masai as the GM? He isn't the GM. Bobby is. We need to respect Bobby's position more and refer to him more often when it comes to trades. This has been a very ambiguous thing between the two of them. And yes, people do get confused about Masai being the GM. It's Bobby. That's true. But once again, Bobby is not doing this all by himself. It really is like Masai is very much a very, very an advisor. And in some ways, he has to okay everything that Bobby does. So Bobby may be doing the grunt work of calling everybody, doing the actual working it out with the other teams. But everything he does, in some ways, he has to go and talk to Masai and say, okay, are we doing this? Give me the thumbs up. And Masai say, okay, Bobby. Yeah, this is good. You know, it's really like that. So in some ways, there is a little bit of responsibility to Masai also. But you're right. Bobby Webster is the general manager of the Toronto Raptors, and people need to get that distinction right. Dana's saying Andrew Nebhard commented on RJ's Insta posts about being home. Ooh, Dana doing the deep digging as a Raptors PI and noticing Nebhard likes the idea of RJ coming home. Well, is that a cue? Is that a clue? Is that a nod, a tip of the hat, a little wink from Andrew Nebhard about, the fun of being a homecoming? Things like that. Well, let's take note of this and see how things develop over the years. And maybe we will see Andrew Nebhard in a Raptors jersey also at some point. I don't know. We got a good point guard now. In some ways, the need of having Andrew Nebhard that we were talking about before, because we were targeting him, is not as much at this point if we're going to go IQ. So we'll have to see. I like that, though, Dana. I really do like that. G saying a few years ago, someone mocked us saying no one wanted to come to the Raptors. I said eventually the hometown boys will be back, and I want to come back, and the league will find a way to complain. Yeah, in some ways, that's the thing that I think the Knicks Nation's kind of upset. They really did like RJ, and they're happy that he gets to go home, but they're also seeing the synergy and the happiness and the joy of it, and now they're being haters on the other side of it. You know how it is. You may make a trade, a garbage pail kids with your buddies when you're like 6 years old or something like that. And you could trade them Potty Scotty for Adam Baum. And you're like, oh, man, I should have kept that number one Adam Baum. That Adam Baum's really good. And you have like trader's remorse. And in some ways, you're trying to like make the trade back or do something different. Or maybe you'll even slight the trade that was made. You know, Potty Scotty's better than Adam Baum anyway, yo. He's the best garbage pail kid. So anyway, you can have Adam Baum. Mine's better. You know, they'll do stupid shit like childish shit like that. When you know you lost the trade, Adam Baum's the number one of the garbage pail kids in first series. And if you get Adam Baum, that's the first garbage pail kid ever. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, all right, let's keep going. MSJ saying, been reading up on Grady. He has been put into the grinder to toughen him up, and it seems he will not be back until the Conan the Barbarian workout program is over. Pain is his life now. He should also be forced to cut his hair off. What is this? You want him to go military, Chris? No, listen, whatever Grady's got to do, he's got to do. And I'm going to trust in our team and our strength coaches. I'm going to trust in them knowing the right schedule and the right things for him. I'm going to say this. This is true. What happened with Grady the last couple of times I saw on 905, he did not belong on 905. And this is part of the problem. He needs the strength to be able to battle people defensively because he's just getting abused. He's getting abused defensively down low. And we need him to bulk up and put that muscle on. So this is the weight training program for Grady Dick. And, well, once again, he should have been playing for Kansas this year instead of being in the Raptors in the NBA too soon. You should be doing a sophomore year at Kansas right now, Grady. I know you wanted to get in there. You got in there, but in some ways we're really kind of supplementing your second year of college. and you're getting paid as a professional. And I'm not totally against that. It's just that in some ways, this is the true reality of the whole situation. That Grady came out too early and that he should have stayed for one more year at Kansas. So let's see. Kareem's here. Good to see Kareem Thomas. Kareem, there's other people getting the lead on you on the dunk contest so far this year. So yeah, we got to see you get your first dunk of the year. He's saying if we win the next 2 games and are rewarded a pizza party, I'm gonna have to ask RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly to sit at both ends of the table. Oh yeah, throw in some extra dipping sauce. Y'all keep saying this on Spaces and Twitch, Twitter, and different places that it's a pizza party. No, Darko. Seriously, if you're gonna give them this carrot, this thing dangling in front of them to go for, so that they can win, you need to give them a full steak dinner. Yeah, you need to make this worth their while. Pizza party ain't going to count. This is what big corporations give to lowly employees that bust their ass all the time as their gift for the year, a pizza party. Here's your pizza party. That's it. That's all we're getting is some stupid cold slices of cheese pizza on a piece of cardboard. That's all you're going to give us? No, they better be coming correct with some steaks and coming to the best steakhouse in whatever city they're in when they do this. Because, man, y'all keep saying pizza party. It denigrates our coach, and I ain't about that. It's going to be fine dining, at least big, fine steaks at some sort of steakhouse. That's what I got to say right there. Yeah. Jillian saying Grady's going to be a baller. Well, I hope so. That's what they think. They're saying he's going to be the future, a part of our future, and he better be a baller if he's going to be a part of our future. MSJ saying, I remember commenting with Country Kong about Grady, and as it turns out, the beatings will continue until Grady's morale improves. It's an old saying from some pirate move, Lex, pirate novel. Okay, the beatings will continue. Well, I know what you mean as far as like he's not very good defensively. He can't do anything defensively. People are killing him. So we got to figure this out with Grady. Cool Cat's saying, Lex, the difference is we added 2 professional ballers. They come prepared. Yes, completely agree with that, Cool Cat. I was listening to Paul and Eric for Sportsnet, Paul Smith and Paul Jones and Eric Smith, and they mentioned that the 2 new players, Raptors are hoping to make the play-in at minimum. Well, this is an interesting thing. Spurs Nation is all happy right now because they're starting to figure out that the Raptors are better after this trade, and it's likely that they're going to get that pick from the trade last year. And that, they're licking their chops because now the Raptors are going back into a win mode and not like tanking out. So this is good. I like this. A lot of people are saying, no, don't do this. We're just going to be mid. And what's the point? I don't care. In some ways, we just need to build winning culture. And we need RJ and Scotty to build how to get W's over and over again. That's more important to practice than practicing losing just to keep a draft pick from the San Antonio Spurs and do all kinds of stupid shit. Once again, the draft does not save you at this point. We see who we drafted last year, Grady Dick. We see how most of these guys that got drafted recently are not totally like the same kind of draft class as before. Sure, Victor's something else. Chet, well, he's not really this class. He sat for a year. There's a lot more less trust in the new players coming up because they're just not prepared in the league at this point. So I'm all about practicing winning, and I'm never about tanking or practicing losing. And anybody who's going to get mad because we are going in the direction of trying to make the play-in and get in the playoffs, shut up. Because partly is we need to get Scott more playoff experience, and anything going in, whether it's a play-in or whatever, is good for him to get. And I'm all about that. Firebolt saying, I've never followed the Grizzlies, but I'm curious. Did Jonte and Darko overlap their time there? Yes, they did, Firebolt. In fact, that's part of the reason why we got Jonte. Darko is familiar with Jonte. He worked with him in Memphis. Yes, so they have a working relationship. And that is a big reason why Jonte is on the Raptors right now, is because I'm sure, just like Schroeder, Darko said something to Bobby Masai about this guy. Yeah, I had him as a rookie in Memphis, and he's got some good chops, and he's worth getting. And they're like, okay, Darko, we'll listen to you. We'll go pick him up from the Motor City Cruise now that Ron Harper Jr. has a season-ending injury. And that's how it went down right there. So, yeah, they do have an overlap, and they are familiar with each other. Julian saying Darko has much praise for Memphis. This is like a very much a homecoming in some ways for him. It's going to be interesting to see all the vibes around it and see how they feel with each other. And, this is going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff. Country Kong saying, "Good morning, Raptors freaks." Lex, yesterday they covered the OG and RJ trade on Gilbert Arenas. Okay. Gilbert said something interesting. He said the Knicks should have played RJ at point guard because of his playmaking. Well, listen, I think at this point, we've got so many guys that can play make that it should not be necessarily such a designated role on the Raptors. I mean, if it's going to be like this, quickly saying he wants to be more of a passer and a creator in the new year. We know that, we've got point guards like Dennis and, Scotty wants to play a creator role. Pascal could do it too. RJ can do it now. That's the thing. And then we're even using Jakob as a hub. So it's like all 5 of the starters are great passers. And in some ways, that's great for Darko's system and what he's trying to do. So I like it. Hey, that's a great thing. I don't want to make this ambiguous too much or make it too not role defined. But if all these guys have these skills and they utilize them at different times, does it matter if we have a label for different people? I mean, I'd love to see RJ play like a bit of a creator role, but I'd much rather see him bullying through the basket too and making outside shots. So I don't know. We'll have to see how Darko does this. In fact, this may be part of his genius is figuring out our offense with so many good creators on it. All 5 of the starters are good passers, and that's a fantastic thing. That's a fantastic thing. Jillian's saying, Lex, Raps heard you about Jonte. In some ways, once again, a lot of what I say on this channel is just purely based on an old school head basketball mentality. As somebody who watched the NBA since Magic and Bird all the way up until now, and it's just good logic. Some of it's just sound GM team management, and it just makes sense. Precious is gone. We don't have a backup center. You got to call up Jonte. So it's not like I'm a Kreskin or really crazy or anything. I'm just looking at what things need to happen logically is basically it. Trevor J saying they also reported yesterday that Grady will be here with the 905. Yeah, he's not on the road. He's going to be back here. He'll play with the College Park against College Park, or I don't even know if he's going to play right away. They're saying he's going to take 2 weeks off from everything. He may not even be playing for the G League team. He's just really working intensely out. Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe he is suited up tomorrow. Country Kong saying, I think it's an interesting idea. It kind of goes along with your plans for Scotty. Gil said RJ was more of a table setter at Duke. I did really like the pass he made to IQ for his first 3 as a Raptor. Yeah, that was good. It's like a drive and kick. In some ways, if we have Siakam, RJ, and Scotty all a threat to go into the paint and pass it out, I mean, IQ also, this is good. It's going to keep people guessing. The more versatile in different ways, and if we're organized and we know what we're supposed to do on each play, there won't be the confusion. We could be very much keeping people guessing because the ball could be the different person finishing and different person passing every single time down the court. It could be a different combination every time. And I like that kind of ambiguity as far as like they don't know how we're going to do it and they don't know necessarily how to set up for it. So there's a lot I like about this. And that's interesting that Gilbert brought this stuff up. Thank you, Country Kong. Wayne Strainer saying Gilbert also said the Knicks were dumb to have 3 lefties playing the same way on the team. Raptors are building, again, a very balanced team. Youth, veterans, and various skill sets. Pascal is a vet. In some ways, this deal that we just did cleared up it's kind of a glut on both teams. Whether it's a Vision 6'9" glut on Toronto, whether it's a lefty glut on New York. And yeah, in some ways, RJ fits way better with us in certain ways. And I like it. The spacing's so much better with RJ on our team instead of OG. And I'm excited about this. I think that the Knicks were dumb to make this deal just in general. I think in some ways, well, how did we do this once again? Bobby, you're a badass. I don't know how you do this. Like, you fooled them. You fooled them. We straight up fooled them. These guys are pissed over there because they love RJ. They didn't really have a problem with him, most of them. It was the toxic fans that had a problem with him. And then Emmanuel quickly, they really don't like not having him on the team all of a sudden. I don't know. Knicks Nation is really, like, in some ways they're happy to have OG, but in some ways that's it. That's it. I don't really think they're really thrilled with this trade in a lot of ways. I don't think they are. Let's see. Nameless is here. He's Polly Poppy, but that's Nameless. ESPN is talking up the OG to New York trade simply because they're trying to save face. Yeah. Yeah. In some ways, you can see it in how they write the trade in the first place. They say Anunoby to the Knicks. They don't talk about RJ to the Raptors in the headline. They base it centered around the Knicks and what's happening with them. In some ways, that the bigger story was RJ coming back to Toronto, but they're not going to put that on blast down there. We put it on blast up here. So yeah, it is what it is. In some ways, there's a lot of things happening for us. In some ways, they may be mad because like the Raptors were dead and we were bad for this year, and they just helped us get it out of the mud. And Knicks Nation could be very legitimately upset about this. That the Raptors were not a good team, and we're going to destined to lose a lot for the rest of the year. But they bailed us out by making a trade with us, and we're going to be back to being a problem again. And that's awesome. Good job, Knicks. You just helped out the Raptors once again, and we're going to be badasses because of it. Thank you. We were very much mired in horrible things until this trade happened, and now y'all have helped us. Thank you, Atlantic Division brother, for helping us out of the mud. Is how I'm saying it right now. G saying the fact that they have this plan for Grady is very impressive. This is why we're known to develop players. I think this is just awesome. In some ways, people are having a lot of questions about Grady and this and that and whether he's an NBA player. Well, let's let him get the right facet of what he needs for his training right now. And in some ways, tell everybody, forget about seeing him out on the court and worrying about how good he is. He's going back to the weight room, and that's going to make him better when he comes back. Jillian's saying, yes, Lex, you're right. And in New York, virtually ignoring Achua and Flynn is another example of how inclusive Canada was. We're not perfect, just inclusive. I don't know. Are they ignoring those guys? It is whatever. I mean, OG's the big name. In some ways, those two guys are going to be embarrassments, not totally precious, but Flynn. And they may be trying to not put a spotlight on them. In some ways, they were part of the deal that was kind of like dead wood, at least Malachi. I think Precious was a good acquisition for them. And I think they're going to like him in the end. But with Malachi, it's a lost cause. And in some ways, why would New York put on blast that we took some dead wood or dead roster spot from the Raptors and we put it on our team? Why would they do that? Chris is saying, yes, Country Kong. I do feel the Knicks and RJ just didn't work given the style of play the Knicks run. He needs lanes and more freedom. And yeah, they had 3 lefties on the backcourt. That's just great diversity. In some ways, the lefty with our team is great. Scotty's ambidextrous. You got Siakam the other way. Look, boom, down the court, and you got lanes specifically for your hands. What hand are you? Okay, you're in that lane. You're in that lane. It's that easy. It's funny. Pally Poppy is saying they know what happened, and they're trying to change the perception of it. But guess what? It ain't going to work. They're gaslighting everybody in vain. That's what I'm saying. The results will speak for themselves. And people will regret this trade in New York for a long, long time. They probably already regret it 3 days later. And they're going to regret it even more as time goes on. Watch. Because RJ is going to do certain things in Toronto. And everybody's going to be like, how the hell did we let the Raptors get RJ Barrett? They're going to be all up in a tizzy about it. I'll bet you money. I'll bet you money right now. Carlos saying, good morning, blessed Wednesday family. Wednesday. It's Wednesday, Carlo. Lex, I didn't know Chuck D was a Raps fan. Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. We're sharing this in the Facebook chat last night. Chuck D has been tweeting about the Raptors for a couple years now, guys, honestly. And it's been fantastic. This is what he's been saying. I got to go to the chat we have online on Facebook, and I'll bring it in. I think it's awesome. First of all, Chuck D believes this. Chuck D, a Public Enemy, said on Twitter this week, actually, you know what? Let me go get him. I want to read it straight from in his words. I don't want to put words in his mouth. So let me go and search him up on there he is. All right. And I'll read his tweets because he's tweeted about the Raptors a couple times in the last 24 hours. And it's very, very interesting what he's saying. Now, he has a lot of tweets, so I got to find them real quick. No. You know what? The one that really interested me the most was the one he said about the Raptors after they won the championship. It was very, very interesting what he said about that. He said basically he feels like the NBA has been hurting us on purpose on the inside since we won the championship. And he sees some of the stuff I've talked about on this channel, and I've sounded like a conspiracy theorist. But this is Chuck D, man. This is Public Enemy. This is a guy from New York. This is a big Knicks fan. And in some ways, he's vicariously a Raptors fan also. And I think he's a really big fan of RJ Barrett. So he's coming to our nation with these Knicks guys even more so because some of the stuff he said is like really, really, really interesting. He basically said, man, he has so many tweets. All right, this is what he said. One of the things he said was great to see the Raptors press conference and RJ Barrett and Pascal Siakam handling questions in French with flawless French answers. Different level of character and intellect up north. Same in music, as I especially enjoy seeing young black men smashing the USA stereotypes at same age. I love that comment. And that's such a huge comment right there. I love that so much. And then he replied to a fan that said, "Since when are you a Raptors fan? Fight the power." And he said the NBA fleeced Toronto after the chip. The league tried to forget it quickly, and the bubble was a disaster, having them play in Tampa, of all places. Chuck D is on our side, bro. He said, "Look, they poo-pooed our championship. They didn't properly celebrate it." Chuck D sees it, and then he says, "Look at what the Raptors had to deal with since that they had to go to Tampa in the COVID year, and had what other franchise had a detriment of that?" This is what I try to tell people all the time. Y'all are putting on our front office when you don't understand the roller coaster ride of challenges that we as a franchise have had to deal with since the pandemic. We were rolling after the championship, even without Kawhi. We had the best record in the NBA when the pandemic hit. And then everything went to shit. They had to do the bubble and all this other crap. And then we had to go to Tampa the next year. And most teams, that would kill their team forever. If that was a Charlotte Hornets, that was a New Orleans Pelicans, if that was even the Utah Jazz, if you had to do something like what the Raptors had to do in 2020, you would be like really set back, crazy back. And this is the great brilliance of the front office of Webster and Ujiri and Resch, that they are so good that they took the blow of the relocation to Tampa, and they took it and they've moved on. They kept standing on their feet. It's almost like somebody took a big haymaker and punched the crap out of them in the face, and they didn't fall down. They stood standing there. They took it and said, "That's all you got." It's kind of what they said. It's amazing. And I love that Chuck D, as an outside person, recognizes what's actually truly happened to our franchise. I wish more Raptors fans were more in tune with what's happened in our history in the last 5 years as much as Chuck D. Y'all should know this too, that the NBA poo-pooed our championship, and in some ways we've had a really hard time since because of different things being the Canadian team. And Chuck D sees it. And I wish y'all would too. Oh my gosh. I love that Chuck D is a kind of a Raptors fan. He has respect for our team in some ways. And I like that. I like that a lot. It's very cool. Cool Cat's saying they now use proper titles for OG, all defensive OG. Yeah. Yeah, that's just how it is. They're going to do that. That's how they do it. Lowry got a whole different kind of shine. He was getting good shine for us already, but he gets another shine being on the Miami Heat. DeMar DeRozan. Wow. As a Bull, he gets way more shine as a Bull than he did as a Spur or a Raptor before then. He very much gets a lot of shine at that point. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Monique is here. Good to see the super fan, Monique Lawrence, the greatest. Good morning, Raptor Freak family, and happy game day. Let's crush the Grizzlies. Yeah, I hear you, El Capitan Monique. Yes, you heard the captain. Get out there and crush the Grizzlies, Raptors. Yes, let's go. If nobody knows who the captain of the Raptors is, let's make Monique the captain of the Raptors. Who's the captain? Is it Scotty? Is it Pascal? Is it Thad? Is it Otto? Is it Dennis? No, the captain is Monique Lawrence. That's right. I'm all about that. Cool Cat saying NBA media is now saying he would be Defensive Player of the Year. Not for what he's done this year. No, you better look at his stats for the whole year, and he ain't getting it this year because of the first half of the year with the Raptors. So don't try and give him no Defensive Player of the Year this year. It's biased then. I will tell you right now, because he did not play that well defense for most of the season already. So he shouldn't be in consideration this year. Now, if he gets a clean slate, starts the new year, next year really well, and he does good things next season, okay. But this year, no, he's already tainted because there's already a huge chunk of the season where he is not playing at a top level as a defensive player. If they give it to him, well, we'll see just how biased they are. As soon as he leaves Toronto, he goes to New York, they're going to give him a Defensive Player of the Year. That's messed up. And in some ways, okay, actually, I'll look at the bright side. They give him a Defensive Player of the Year this year. That means he does get Defensive Player of the Year while he was a Raptor, because he was a Raptor this year, and that would be part of this year. So, hey, there's the bright side of it. If he does get it, it does kind of count that he was half Raptors Defensive Player of the Year too. Logic. Let's see. Carlos saying, yeah, Gil, that was so cool to hear. Everything sounds sexier in French. Haha. Chuck D, loving that RJ speaks French. Yeah, we got a few guys that do that. Boucher, Coloco, Chuck D, man, just come on up. Samuel L. Jackson became a Raptors fan very early on. You can be just like that. Chuck D, if you're becoming more and more a Raptors fan, we're with you, bro. Come on up with RJ and come root for our team. I'm all about it. Show up at the Scotiabank Arena. We'd love to give you a hero's welcome there. Public Enemy is one of the most important musical acts that ever existed in the history of music. And I will say that every single time. If you're going to put a list of the top 25 most important influential acts for certain reasons and political reasons and cultural reasons, Public Enemy is in that top 25 for sure, if not in the top 10. I will say that right now. That is right. It's most important musical groups in the whole entire history of music ever. I'm going back to Handel and Wolfgang Amadeus and all that stuff. I'm telling you, ever that band is so important, so important, so important. Yeah. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah. We're at Paul B. Gary is an expiring contract. What do you think Masai has in store for him? Now, he's one of the guys like Pascal and OG that we have to figure out during the season. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Now, I could see if Gary doesn't get more consistent right now, I could see us trading him before the deadline. Yeah, I could see that happening. It's really about Gary getting a little bit more consistent and proving that he's going to be the right fit with what we're doing for the future. So we'll have to see. In some ways, it's also how he fits with RJ and Quickly. That if he is playing off of them real well, he's got to make his open threes. If he's getting steals, if he's playing really well in defensive tandem with Quickly and Schroeder, then boom, maybe we do consider investing in him for the future. But I would say this, if things aren't going well, if they continue to go kind of how they have already this season, I could see them trading Gary before the deadline. I could see that. Let's see. Country Kong saying, Chris, I agree. I don't think they ever played a style of play that maximized his strengths. Playing with Brunson, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson, I don't think they put him in positions to succeed on offense. In some ways, it may be the coaching philosophies of the two different coaches. Thibodeau and Rajakovic are kind of on the opposite ends of each other. Thibodeau's like Nurse. He's a defensive coach. He's a very much expend a lot of energy on defense and fight. In some ways, RJ in some ways needs an offensive coach. Somebody who's going to really look at his ways of offense and integrate them in a way that helps him and fits him in a way. It may be that there was a square peg going into a round hole in New York this whole time. And in some ways, it's just a natural kind of fit better with an offensive coach that's going to allow RJ to have the space and to do the things. I think the big part of it was that Randall and RJ, as much as they're friends, are not good on the same team. I feel like in some ways, both of them take a lot of space up and that they didn't totally fit together as teammates. It wasn't the right fit between Randall and RJ. And that's part of the reason why things are a little bit better. I don't know. We're going to have to continue to see. Hopefully, RJ fits really well besides Scott and Pascal, but it's still a work in progress. We have to take more information in before we just declare, oh, they fit all so well on Monday. It's just going to happen that way. No, we have to see where there may be a button up of skills and things and where people like to do things on the court. And if that is going to be a spacing problem at any point for whatever reason, of course, it looks like it can be adjusted. So I'm excited about this. I think that RJ fits with our team way better. And I think that a lot of experts are saying that right now, too. Cool Cat saying Masai and Bobby are patient in their transaction. Yeah, they know what they want and are willing to wait to get it rather than make hasty transactions. Yeah. Yeah, in a lot of ways, they know the Jack Donaghy art of negotiation from 30 Rock. Alec Baldwin and all his silliness with his character on there, as far as when he'd meet with people in his office and play power play kind of games. Like, oh, whoever speaks first loses, that kind of stuff. Well, I'll bet Bobby and Messiah are like that. They probably know the book on all that. And when they're in negotiation with people, I'm sure they let people fall into traps all the time because they understand Jack Donaghy art of negotiation kind of stuff. So, yeah, whoever speaks first, whatever, I'm sure that they're doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, Malachi's a Nick, so obviously they're doing something right. Wayne saying, not discounting team defense, but the NBA pushes defensive teams. Defensive player of the year means nothing. Beauty of the Raptors is we do a lot of things well except shooting. Once we fix shooting, we will win games. Well, I think the Cavalry's here for that, and the shooting has already instantly gotten better. Let's continue to find out tonight with more evidence in the game tonight. Hopefully the shooting is still really well. The offense is very strong, and we're not having any periods where we stagnate. We're not having any periods where we look incapable of scoring. We're not having any periods where Matt Devlin's saying the Raptors have not scored since the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. You know, we don't want any of that. anymore. That's the old Raptors. We got new infusion of offensive-minded Raptors that can score and create their own shots. And a lot of the offensive problems that have been a problem for the Raptors this season are hopefully gone away now with this trade. And I'm all about it. Yeah, and I agree with Wayne. Defensive Player of the Year is a weird award. I don't have any weight in it after I see people like Marcus Smart and Jaren Jackson Jr. win it the last 2 years. Seriously. In some ways, it's just a booby prize. They're just going to give you this prize. We're just going to throw something at you. In some ways, the weight of what the Defensive Player of the Year has been tarnished because the wrong people have been winning it lately. How about that? Carlos saying Masai and Bobby woke up from their slumber. No, they've never been asleep, Carlo. And let's not put this out there that they're sleeping. They're not. They've been actively working. It's just that they don't make moves very often. And when they do, they make them really count. So this is the thing. This move probably took 2 years to make. Seriously. This kind of move probably took 2 years to make. And that's why they're not rushing, just like Cool Cat said. They take their time. They're patient. And this is not something that just happened overnight. This is something that was kind of happening and evolving towards for a while. And it was signified by OG taking CAA as his agency. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Quickly and RJ fast pace is what we needed. Now Dennis would see how fast we need to play. Well, he's going to be out there and keeping the pace with them too. And I love it. I love it. All of them are going to be looking up the floor and looking to throw it to each other a lot more coming up. And I'm all about it. Jillian's got me on the drink water for 10:30. All right, I'm only 20 minutes behind. Okay, Carlos saying 100%, Wayne. Most of the games we lost, we were missing out on a couple of points, and these two guys will put up a minimum of 15 per night. Well, let's not put any parameters for sure on what we're going to expect from them. It's going to be night in, night out, different things. We'll see who does what and what. But I have a lot more confidence in us getting baskets when we really need them at this point. I'm really going to look a lot at the offensive efficiency for the Raptors post-trade compared to pre-trade. And that's going to be a huge difference. That our efficiency on offense was horrible in the first part of the season. And now I feel like we're going to be a lot better at executing most of the times we go down the court with the ball. That's awesome. That is awesome. Let's see. Chris is saying, I want to see Grady come back tatted up. And yes, shaved head. And there's about zero badass in him at the moment. Needs to change. I disagree with this in some ways. I disagree with this. In some ways, he's like he's kind of like a wolf in sheep clothing. He looks like just a nice guy, like he would be in like at a church and praying in the morning or something. He looks like a very wholesome, everyday kind of guy. But in some ways, it kind of hides a spirit to him that's actually underneath him. In some ways, he's a little bit born to be wild on the downside. It's like, but look, he's not in a destructive way. And that's what we don't want. We don't want Grady to be wild in a destructive way or anything like that. I don't know. If he gets tats, that's his own choice. I don't think he should shave his head. Trust me. If he's going to lose his hair at some point, he wants to keep it as long as he can. So, yeah, I'll disagree with your comment. It's a little silly. Jillian's saying expensive chi-chi poo-poo dinner. Chi-chi poo-poo. Chi-chi poo-poo? That's such a weird thing for me to say. Chi-chi poo-poo dinner. Yeah, I want them to get a good dinner. I want them to get a high-class French cuisine dinner, maybe an amazing 5-course Italian dinner. I don't know. Just don't make it a pizza party, please. Don't make it a pizza party. Everybody keeps saying pizza party on Twitter, please. Let's bring up the excellence. Let's bring up the stature of the meal that Darko's going to give them from just a pizza party. That's something you throw for little kids for their 6th birthday. Come on, y'all. Give them a steak dinner. They really need the impetus, the want, the desire to win. Well, they win tonight. They got one more. They got to win the game after this. And, hey, then maybe they get their pizza party or their steak dinner. Yeah. Country Kong saying RJ represents the same issues for the defense that Scotty does as a ball handler. The downhill pressure they put on the rim causes the defense to collapse. Grady just needs some oxtail. That's actually a good suggestion for sure. I think this is true. I think that both Quickly and RJ are giving us more pressure in transition and bringing the ball down quick. And that, man, this is going to be part of the problem with our team is that any of our guys can rebound other than Jakob and bring that ball right down the court really quickly and try and do something. In some ways, maybe Siakam will be more aggressive and bringing the ball down quickly in transition also, because that's just the flavor of how we do things with RJ and IQ on the team. Yeah, I love this. I love this because that is a problem. It's a problem when Scotty's coming down. They kind of crap their pants when Scotty's in the open court and he's bringing the ball down really fast. The other team's kind of like crapping their pants, and in some ways, RJ does that too, for sure, for sure. And I would think quickly also. Mugabe saying, Raptor freaks, don't get this twisted. No one's want to come to the Raptors. Kawhi leave the first chance he gets. Lillard did not want to come. Players are watching how they treat their stars players. Mugabe, once again, everybody is a different person in this world. And we can't just say it's blanket. Everybody's going to think this way or that way. Obviously, RJ is very happy to be here, and it's a good fit so far. So I can't say this. I can't say this is true. I'm now ignorant. Some of the players from the States will be like Lillard and Kawhi. Listen, he really made a tough decision, but I don't even think he made that decision. I think the NBA made that decision for him. And in some ways, they didn't like what was happening here. If he had re-signed with us, the NBA may have even vetoed that deal just because they did not want us to have a dynasty. There's no way impossible they wanted us to try and defend our championship. And that they, in some ways, it may have been Kawhi was like, I kind of do want to play for Toronto still. They really like me up here. The NBA and Adam Silver like, you can't do that because they'll be too good still. And honestly, we don't want them to continue to win like they have been. So you have to go to LA. But honestly, we just won. We should let me get a chance to repeat with them. No, Kawhi, you have to go with Uncle Dennis to LA. I'm sorry. It's a better market. You go home. We'll take care of you. You get whatever you want there. You just can't play for Toronto anymore. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. The Quine and Dine period was very ambiguous and not totally clear what his intentions were. In some ways, he did make it sound like he was kind of interested in coming back here, but also in the same way that he went to our championship parade ceremony and he said, soak it in and enjoy this for now. Ha, ha, ha. And then he laughed and very ominous. He may have known at that point he wasn't going to come back because the NBA had told him, you can't play for the Raptors anymore. It's just too good for them. And they're going to be too good. And we don't want this for the future of the NBA. We don't think it's good for the U.S. and the marketing for the league if the best team in the league is in Canada. So in some ways, that's something we're working against as a franchise, that I really do feel like NBA official had a hand in Kawhi going to the Clippers. And that in some ways, it wasn't just Kawhi's decision. He was heavily influenced by Adam Silver. And in some ways, he couldn't do nothing. And that may go along with what Chuck D was saying. Seriously. Yeah. Let's see. Well, Wayne's saying, well said, Lex. Grady didn't even look ready for G League. That boy needs to spend every hour of the day in the gym. No advertisements, no podcasts, no gimmicks. This is for big people, not kids. Yeah. I just think he came too early. I think he would have been fine like in a year from now, even. I would have loved to be gone all 4 years, but I think he just came way too early, like way too early. Stargate saying, I watched the last 2 games over the Detroit game and the Cavs game, specifically focusing on defense. And too many times Dennis could not keep his man in front of him and his man kept blowing by him. That's an issue. Dennis has to be better at guarding his man. Okay, I know you brought this up again. You're harping on it again. Well, once again, I'm going to say, just like Gary, just like Fred, just like Kyle before, these guys gamble for steals. And in some ways, look, they're not going to totally be able to keep in front of guys all the time. Now, I don't think that this is something you should continue to harp on. I think that guards are going to get beat sometimes regardless, just like Jakob's going to get beat sometimes in the center. This is hard positions to guard, point guard and center. And some of the guards on this league are really super quick. Now, quickly may be a better defensive guard than Dennis for this reason. But in some ways, this is not worth pointing out. And it's a team defense. If Dennis gets beat, like other guys get beat all the time too, somebody needs to be there as a teammate to watch out for him. And that was part of why he was upset, is because maybe his guy was getting beat, but nobody was there to stop the guy from laying it up on him, and he looked really bad because of it. And that is why he's saying, I want my teammates to have my back. I'm a perimeter defender. And sometimes perimeter defenders get beat. It's up to the rim protectors and the people in the lane to be in the right position to pick up the guy and not let them get an easy layup. So, I mean, this is an issue for Gary, too. Gary gets beat like this, too. So don't act like it's a specific Dennis thing. It happens to all the guards on our team, and it will happen from time to time. The guard on the other side is trying to beat you. They're trying to get a game around you or something like that. And that's just how it is. Let's see. Cool Cat saying with the play-in goal, Pascal has a window of time on the team to assess the quality of the team. It is said. Once again, Cool Cat, I'm not looking at this. He's assessing this. No. Listen, Siakam knows this team is fun and good to be on. And you're saying that he's looking at it as like, is this team worth it for me to try and be on here still? That's bullshit, Cool Cat. Once again, I know you have a player's perspective in some ways, but I don't think Siakam's looking at it this way. Once again, you guys keep saying Siakam deserves more championships. Siakam deserves this. Siakam deserves that. I don't look at things like you do from the perspective like this. You're saying that he has to assess the quality of this team to figure out what he wants to do. Okay, to an extent, I'll agree. But for the most part, that's not totally what's happening here. Siakam needs to play the level he wants to play to impress the Raptors and entice us to want to keep him. And, he's doing that. He is very much doing that, and he's very successful. But, yeah, going the other way, come on. He doesn't think that way. I really don't think he thinks the way that you said. I think it's more like he loves playing for the Raptors, and in some ways, he played on the Tampa team. He played on so many different editions of the Raptors that he understands it's a business, and the team goes up and down. And he probably sees like good positive things starting to develop now, and that may encourage him to want to stay. But I don't think that it's exactly how you think like this as far as assessing the quality of the team. I take issue with that. That's part of the statement you're saying. He's assessing the quality of the team. No, he's not. He played for us for Tampa. He played for us in the confusion of last year. He played for us in the first half of the season. I just don't like the way you come about it. Isaac's saying, yeah, we got IQ and RJ now. It was the same for Fred at Stargate. Team defense wins championship, and now we got two guard point of attack combo. It should never be on one player's shoulders. Yeah, he's saying that Fred got blown by too. This is the thing. Guards are going to blow by each other. That's just part of it. It's a quick first step, and dudes are going to get left behind all the time. Even the best guards get it. It's really about like, oh man, you got to be right on top of it. And boom, he does a little fake. Boom, he's around you. You can't do shit about it. It's so hard to guard guards in an NBA where the defense has their nuts chopped off. Let's just put it that way. Seymour saying, Nix, thank you for the Christmas gift. RJ and IQ, we're happy with the gifts. Koloko, where are you, big bro? Yes, thank you for the Christmas gifts, New York. I know you really didn't want to do that, but you did, and I don't understand, but whatever, you did it. Tristan saying, I agree, Stargate. He got to guard better. Well, let's just keep watching, and we'll see if this is a real issue. I don't totally see this as completely like a paramount issue any more than anybody else as far as things. Let's see. Seymour saying, Polly Poppy. It's Polly Poppy. Tristan saying, also, I hope Darko doesn't try to change how RJ and quickly play too much. They come from a good New York system, which fits well with Siakam's style of play. Basically, it seems Darko doesn't like Siakam's ISOs. I don't think that's completely true. I think that in some ways his philosophies don't. Yeah, his general philosophies. But Darko is very much on the record for saying Siakam is a special player, and he has a certain talent and a certain thing that needs to be feeded. And that's the best thing. Is like as far as Siakam's strengths are his strengths, he's going to try and play to him. And so I don't know. I don't agree with this exactly. I think Darko allows for his isolation more than you think, especially recently. Maybe not at the beginning of the season, but he's made it more open for Siakam to operate the way he's most comfortable. And that's great. That is great. I think that we are going to play our starters heavy minutes. But he needs to find balance with the bench as far as the long course of the season to not tire them out. But I think that these guys may be getting more around 35 minutes a game, the main guys for our team at this point. Wayne's saying Knicks needed OG. He does his job without needing the ball. OG is perfect for the Knicks, and RJ is better suited for the Raptors. No team should be happy with Flynn and a deal coming to them. Precious? Wayne, I like your statement all around. Kevin's saying people are excited about Quickly, but I feel like RJ has untapped potential as well. I think we're excited about both of them. I don't think that it's like a competition. Some people may be talking more about Quickly sometimes. Some people may be talking more about RJ sometimes. So I think that they're both equally very promising. And also, I'm very excited to see both of them. I don't want to bring either one. Stargate saying, Chuck D, a Public Enemy, is a Raptors fan? Wow. I think that in some ways we know Chuck D's history of being a social activist, somebody who's kind of fighting for people that are maligned and underneath, and he sees it with what's happening with the Raptors, and in some ways he gets behind the underdog, and that's what this is. I think that that's what it is. In some ways, he has respect for our team because we're always fighting, even though we kind of get the short end of the stick in some ways, and I think that's a big part of it right now. Fun guy saying, just poking in quickly. Let's go, Raps. All right, fun guy. Good to see you. Tristan saying Pascal addressed selfishness, and Darko said the ball got sticky. And you see him fold his arms and sigh a bit when Pascal holds the ball for several seconds in ISOs. Once again, let's not read into anything negative deeply. If that shit happens for a second, it may be that he had a different idea for what that play set should have been, and they didn't do exactly what it was. In some ways, we shouldn't read into that much. Especially, I'm not reading into stuff trying to build negative narratives. It's basically like I've had two narratives put at me. Stargate saying that Dennis can't guard guards, and you're saying that Darko has a problem with Pascal being selfish. I don't want to spread either one of those narratives. Everything's good right now. If there's issues, if there's problems with how the team plays tonight, we'll suss it out and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But let's not make mountains out of molehills, and let's not also like encourage negative kind of storylines. And I would say that about both the ones that I just mentioned. GMAG 416. Chuck D is 1000% right. Yeah. I've been saying this myself for the last 2 years, and I've been labeled as a conspiracy theorist. I've been labeled as somebody who's crazy, as somebody who's like, you're crazy, Lex. No, I really care about the Raptors, and I'm paying attention to this. I'm sensitive to these kind of things. And Chuck D is too, also, obviously, because he has attuned his perception of the world to be looking at where things are unjust or not right. And he understands things that have happened with the Raptors in the last 5 years has not been totally right or fair. And he's saying it. And he's the kind of guy like me. He doesn't care. He's going to say what he has to say, and he's not worried about repercussions. So he's going to say what he's saying. And I believe him too, because I had already been saying what he's saying. MSJ saying, "Bing on the noise, RJ." That's right. And Tristan saying, some Knicks fans don't mind Precious. He's similar to Hartenstein, and some want to see Malachi trade for another guy like quickly. Well, you just traded quickly away, and you got Malachi, New York, and that's just how it is. Now, they're going to like, some people really like Precious in New York, and some people absolutely hate him. It'll be exactly like it was here. I was a Precious lover myself, but there are a lot of y'all in this chat that absolutely hated him on our team too. And I think this is going to be a similar thing. It's going to be the potential of Precious is very attractive, and it's going to be awe-inducing at times with some of the amazing things he'll do on the court. But also the boneheadedness and kind of the mistakes is really going to turn people off from him also. So I fully feel like he's going to have a very similar kind of like percentage of fan nation in New York feeling negatively and positively about him, just like here. So let's see. Stargate saying, here it is, bam. And you say, goddamn, this is a dope jam. Chuck D quoted from one of his songs. That's awesome. Seymour saying, Cowboy, you still in Cowtown? No, he came back. He checked in 2 days ago and said, I'm back in the 416. So he is back here in Toronto. Tristan saying, as soon as OG goes to New York, he's a defensive player of the year candidate. Yeah, that's just the effect. That is the Canada discount. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it really, the veil's lifted on all kinds of stuff these days. It's like whatever it is, politics, the police are corrupt, whatever it is. You see it all for what it is at this point. There's no hiding this kind of stuff, especially since they're going to put Bet Rivers and all the gambling sites with the NBA at this point. Yeah, they're not even trying to hide shit anymore. So why would they hide that they give a Canada discount or a detriment to the Raptors all the time? They're not anymore. The schedule is very unfair to us. There's all kinds of crazy shit they're doing to us that's just not fair, but we're badasses. We're going to win anyway. And getting RJ and IQ is going to help us win. And Masai and Bobby are defiant in the whole idea that the NBA wants the Raptors to be a farm team or a bottom of the standings team. Yeah, we just don't like doing that, and we go against it. And that's part of the reason why people are so upset with us, whether it's the American media putting out press that our front office doesn't know what they're doing. No, they know what they're doing, and they're so good at their job. They're trying to gaslight and make everybody in Raptors Nation think that our front office doesn't know what they're doing. Well, no, they know what they're doing. Trust me. And y'all are taking lies in by ESPN and other places, and you're falling for it. And I wish y'all would stop. I really wish you would. Regular Raptors fans, not talking about our people here. Let's see. G saying our pick is will most likely be pick 31. Nembhard is a pick 31. There you go. Yeah, our pick is most likely to be 31 because of the Detroit Pistons being so bad, and that is the Detroit Pistons pick that we got in the second round. So if the Pistons are the worst team in the league, we're gonna get the first pick in the second round, 31, and that's not a bad pick to have. I'm speculating Zach Edey. I'd love to get him right there. Let's keep going Canadian. RJ knows Zach, and honestly, I think Zach's going to speed up his game before he shows up next year. Watch. Let's see. Tristan's saying he's literally a perfect fit, just like Quickly and RJ here. You want Nembhard. Yeah. Yeah. And Seymour saying Captain Mo. And I'm back home like RJ is what CP saying. Seymour. Chris is saying, welcome to the Barrett Dome. Welcome to the Barrett Dome, where the Raptors roam. RJ's on fire, making it his own. Welcome to the Barrett Dome, where the shots are chrome in the paint or beyond the arc. He's just got the throne. Look at that. Chris is doing a parody song of Public Enemy. Welcome to the Barrett Dome. I'm sure Chuck D would love that, actually. He probably would. I think he's a big RJ fan. Jillian saying Jack always spoke so highly of IQ. Yeah, I think Emmanuel's going to be interesting. I'm more excited about his development and expanding his game. And I don't mind him being a playmaker. I don't mind him doing whatever he wants to do. I do really value him making shots, though, too. Smooth saying it takes a nation of millions to hold us back. There you go. A nation of the United States to hold the Toronto Raptors back. Oh, man. G saying Nick Claxton was a pick 31, too. We'll find another gem. Oh, we know Masai. I mean, this is an earlier pick than Koloko, and I think Koloko is a great pick despite his health issues this year. Koloko was a fantastic pick at 33, right? So there's something around there. Smooth saying, you know that reference, man. Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, yeah. I know the albums, Fear of a Black Planet. There's so many good Public Enemy albums from the late 80s, early 90s. And they were in my tape deck. Trust me. I was booming that stuff. 911's a joke. Yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff. I can't do nothing for you, man. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Mugarbe's saying Tristan Phipps, nobody holds the ball longer in ISO. So if Darko's going to have a problem with Pascal about sticking the ball, he should check that. Pascal is 5th in franchise history in assists. Allowances are given to the great Siakam by Darko that are not given to the rest of the team. And I think that's okay. That's fine. In some ways, Siakam has had a hard time fitting in with the 0.5 offense. We saw that at the beginning of the season. And allowances for Siakam to have more time have been allowed. And it's been very fruitful. As long as the offensive efficiency is there and the Raptors are making more shots than they're missing, I have no problem with Siakam holding the ball longer than the other players. Darko's going to know if he's frowning and he's getting all mad and stuff like that, that's because he didn't see something he didn't like. He wanted something else to happen. Let's see. Tristan saying Darko keeps encouraging Gary to take more and more shots, which sometimes interferes with him passing to open players down the court. Seems like he doesn't really know when to shoot and when to pass. I know Mugarbe. That's why I think there's some conflict. Once again, guys, why are we doing this? Tristan, why are we doing this? Stargate, why are we doing this? There's no reason. We're in a good place right now. We've had so much conflict. We've had so much bullshit. And I want to just say it's magically gone because OG's gone, because Fred's gone, because Nick's gone. And now we have all the problems gone. So let's not look for more conflict on top of this. Things are going smoothly. We got the W on Monday. Hopefully we're going to get the W tonight. And we can just not look for the next thread to pull is maybe what I would tell you, Tristan Phipps. Maybe I would tell you that, Stargate. So let's stop saying there's a problem with Siakam and the coach. Let's stop saying that Dennis has these problems. Let's just go forward and hope for winning and stop projecting more negative things on this team. In some ways, that's part of the problem is the toxic fan nation is always doing that. And y'all are engaging that right now. I'm going to call you out on that right now. Monique is saying, please don't let Desmond Bane go off with the 3. Remember when he did that to us, Lex? The Raptors are different, though. Yeah, we need to watch their 3-point shooters. Desmond Bane may be getting up stronger for this game because it's Darko. Maybe he isn't. I don't know. We know that number one fan of Darko is Desmond. Desmond was shook when Darko took the head coaching job here. He's really proud of him. And honestly, there's a pure love between Desmond Bane and Darko Rajakovic. So we'll have to see if Desmond's going to be showing his love by trying to kill us, or maybe he goes a little easy on his former coach, a guy who is partly responsible for the leaps and bounds that he's made in his NBA career. So I don't know. We'll have to see in particular what Bane's like tonight, whether he's trying to kill us because of competition, which is probably what it's going to be, or he's maybe a little easier going because he loves Darko. We'll have to see. Chris is saying, yes, Lex, how did we make this trade? It's crazy good for us, but I'm out. Defenders can't contain. They're just part of the game. He's on a mission, destined for fame. Welcome to the Barrett Dome. Chris, man, you're doing what I do with the Christmas carols, except he's doing a Public Enemy RJ Barrett Dome. I love it, Chris. That's awesome. In some ways, I'm going to give you a dunk for that. That's pretty good creativity. You're getting a three-pointer on this one because that's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. All right, where is he on here? Wow, Chris is the new dunk leader. He's got 6. He's got the most out of anybody right now. All right, let's see. Tristan saying Pascal had the ball top of the key, breaking his man down, and you see Dennis adamantly flashing his hands, trying to get him to pass. Pascal just takes it. I like that. Listen, there's a hierarchy to things. Siakam, in some ways, is Grand Poobah, number 1 on the whole hierarchy. He above Scott, above RJ. In some ways, I put Scott second and RJ third, and then maybe quickly fourth. And that's the hierarchy in some ways. That's the way it should be. Dennis is down there. He may be above Jakob, maybe just a little bit above Gary, or maybe not, maybe just equal with Gary. There's a hierarchy, and there's nothing wrong with that. If Siakam wants to disregard Dennis and go do what he's going to do, well, he's proven. He's all NBA. He scored 36 points in the game on Monday. That man can do that because he has a right. Jillian's saying, Lex, my nickname is like Jill. Thanks. Not Gil. Thanks. That's very much. Cheers. I don't know. Did I call you Gil? I should have said Jill. All right. I'll call you Jillian or Jill. Otherwise, okay, I will make sure of that. And I'm thank you for clarifying it. And I will respect that going forward. Did I say Gil? I hope I didn't. If I did, I didn't mean to. It may have been somebody wrote it in the comment that your name was Gil, and I just read it there. It wasn't me trying to call you that. We'll have to see. Tristan saying New York has a lot of off-ball movement, which is what Darko wants more of. So hopefully they bring the balance that we're looking for. Darko said he's not stuck in his ways, so I hope for that. That's a great thing about Darko is he adjusts. He's not stubborn. And if something's not working, he'll throw it out and start something new. And that is something you want in a coach, all kinds of different ways for sure. Yeah, I think that we're just going to do better scoring because we have more shot creators at this point. Seymour saying Stephen A said losing IQ was bad for the Knicks. Raptors' future looks bright. There you go. There you go. Stephen A Smith's a smart guy sometimes, and I think he's right on this one. Tristan saying, I don't know, Mugabe. Hang on. It jumped. Once again, it really, really bad timing when it jumps sometimes. Tristan saying, I don't know Mugabe is where we're at. I don't know Mugabe. I know what you mean from a contract standpoint, but I think Masai wants to win. I think it's mostly Darko's system inhibiting Pascal somewhat inadvertently. How is he inhibiting him, y'all? Y'all are bringing up problems that aren't there. Siakam is scoring more freely than he did with Nick at this point right now. In fact, Siakam has been more efficient and smooth in the last couple of games with getting to 30 than he and maybe his whole entire career. So I don't know what these problems you guys are manufacturing or trying to bring up. Let's just stop, please. There's no issues. There's no issues. If we see issues tonight, we'll talk about it. But Siakam has had, oh my gosh, how can you say this? He got like a really high scoring, shooting percentage, 36 points. Yeah, where are the problems here, guys? There's no problem with what's happening with Siakam, with Darko, with Dennis, with any of this. We won, and it's clicking. And in some ways, Siakam's having an easier time scoring than ever right now. Seriously, open your eyes and stop being so negative. Cool Cat saying, I think Gary will be traded by deadline. His performance decreased in his contract year, and he doesn't want less money. He lost his preferred starring role. Yeah, I don't think he cares about that. Once again, y'all are transferring that on him. He doesn't care if he starts or not. It's the people that keep wanting him to start are the ones who care about it more. In some ways, it is what it is. It's just like Dennis. These guys are pros. They start, they don't start, they don't care. They just got to play. And I think his performance has hurt him. It's definitely hurt him as far as like his demands for what he wants for his contract. He has not played well this year. And I don't know. We don't know if he doesn't want less money. I don't know what he wants. You can't speak for him, Cool Cat. We don't know what Gary wants right now. I think what he wants is to play games, play as well as he can, and just do as best as he can in games to help us win. That's what he's saying. He's not worried about contracts. He's not worried about this. He's worried about playing winning basketball for the Raptors, whether he's starting or off the bench. That's what he keeps saying. I'm just going to listen to him when he says things out of his mouth. And the only thing he's focused on is helping the Raptors win in whatever role they need him to do. He's not worried about whether he starts or not. He's not worried about his contract. So in some ways, I think that that's the way these athletes are. They let their agents worry about all that kind of bullshit, and they just want to focus on the basketball aspect. That's what OG and Pascal and Gary, they've all been saying in the last year or so with the clouds of ambiguousness about what their future is. They say, I don't deal with this. I have people I pay that take care of this. So I don't know. In some ways, that I don't know that is his preferred starting role. I think everybody prefers to start, but in some ways, not everyone can. So that's just how it is. Tristan saying, if you swing the ball too much, none of the defenders have to move. That's why you need off-ball movement. I think a nice blend would bring great basketball. I feel like we have a lot of off-ball movement at this point. I mean, RJ's a really good cutter. Manuel's going to be moving around. Scotty's getting better with stuff. You know, I don't know. In some ways, y'all need to stop projecting stuff from before this year into this year. The only thing we have to look at is from Monday. Forget about everything that happened in 2023, and we're just taking clues and things from what's happened on Monday and going forward, because we're a totally different team with RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly on it. And everything from the beginning of the season needs to be scrapped as far as y'all's remembering this and this and this and this. All I can go by is what happened on Monday, because this is a new team, and we're going to find out more tonight. And hopefully they're successful and they win, and we don't have to nitpick every negative little thing like y'all are doing today. It's stupid. It honestly is stupid. Y'all need to stop doing this. We got good things coming up. Let's project for good stuff in the future, and stop saying, oh, there's problems with this with Siakam. There's problems with this with Dennis. Y'all are not being good Raptor freaks right now, is what I'm going to say right now. Yeah. Wayne's saying, love Dennis, but his bounce pass in the paint needs work. Not saying not to do it, but finesse those passes. Jakob does not need a bounce pass in the paint, but up high. Dennis and IQ in the back, scary. Now, see, I bet you he's talked to Jakob, and that's how Jakob wants it. It's not like Dennis is doing that without talking to him. They all talk to each other. Like they said, how do you like it? How do you like it? How do you like it? No, that pass is a Euro basketball pass, and Jakob is used to getting it. It's just it doesn't always connect. And it is actually very successful usually. Most of the year, when they do that bounce pass in the lane, Jakob has caught it and put it in. So I once again, I don't see this as being a problem. That Dennis's bounce passes in the lane, there's going to be a percentage of failure and success with it. And for the most part, the passing between Jakob and Dennis in the lane with the pick and roll has been very good. It's more often efficient, and he's making the basket. So once again, I don't see a problem here. You guys are bringing up stuff that isn't an issue, is what I'm saying right now. Jillian's saying, Lex, players in real life do not automatically mean they can't be aggressive on the court. Please look at Scotty. Plus, as soon as he and Grady quit virginity, then there'll be even more. All right, we don't want to speculate on that. You're trying to say that those guys are virgins? That's probably not likely in any kind of way. I know Grady's had a steady girlfriend most of his high school. Now, if he is that chaste and he's that kind of a Christian, well, I don't get mad at him. AC Green was that way in the NBA for a long time. But yeah, Scotty's not a virgin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Scotty is not a virgin. I could say that for sure. Grady may be, but I doubt it. I doubt it too, because he did have a very serious girlfriend in his 1 year of college and in high school, just so you know. Let's see. And he may still have her, actually. I'm not totally sure. He's on the down low about his girlfriend right now. It may be that he's not, he may be, they broke up because he's an NBA player now. I don't know. I don't need to know his personal life in some ways. Let's see. Lex, in real life does not automatically mean they can't be aggressive on the court. I don't even know why you're saying that in reference to from earlier, Jillian. I do not know. I'm not sure what you're saying. All right. 11 o'clock. All's well. All right. I'm half an hour behind now. Cowboy saying, good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Bam. Good to see you, Cowboy. Back at work. Got to go. Just want to say, don't be late for dinner. Starts at 8 p.m. Chef Darko is making grizzly burgers. Hopefully everybody can come. All right. Yeah. Bradley's back at Tada Services, cleaning services. Call 647-833-6844. If you need your windows cleaned, your carpet cleaned, your area rugs, your tile, your grout, your ducts, your eaves troughs, your in and out cleanups, Bradley can come into your house and do it for you in the GTA. 647-833-6844.
That's the number to call for Cowboy. Peace at Raptor Street family. Yeah. Isaac saying brunch, burgers for Barrett. Feasting early and often. There you go, Isaac Campbell. And Pally Poppy saying Grady is going to return with face tats. I don't think that's likely. Wayne saying, not buying the theory, Lex. Kawhi is a typical American. He wouldn't listen to any executive from the NBA. He just doesn't like Canadian culture. No, I don't think that's true. I think they said the main reason is he wanted to be home in California. Now, his sister got charged with murder, and she was on trial, and she went to jail. And, there's a lot of things that have happened. He has a lot of family around California. That's the whole main reason why. I don't think this is true. I think that he really did feel the vibes from the championship, just like we talked about, and just how important he was to Canada. And that was really hard for him to walk away from. I think that in the beginning of the season, when they said, all right, Kawhi, you're going to play for the Raptors this year, but you're not under contract after that, and you can leave immediately. So he may have played the whole entire season with the intention of not coming back to Toronto in any kind of way. But they messed around and won the championship. And when they did that, that made it a lot harder for him to make the decision at that summer. And he really was strongly considering coming back. I mean, who wouldn't? Why would you turn your back on what had happened just now with the Raptors in Canada? In some ways, it's a really, really not a smart thing to do. And he really did think about it. But I do feel like the NBA was part of the influence of what happened. That in some way, you don't understand how powerful they can be, Wayne Strainer. That in some ways, you already kind of want to go home, Kawhi, and we do not want you in Toronto. So if you're going to ask us what we want you to do, we want you to go to the Clippers. Okay? It could be as simple as that. And he's like, oh, okay. Like they could even say, if you stay in Toronto, we're not going to give you any calls, and we're going to bury you media-wise in the States. You're not going to be talked about down there at all. You can be up here and you can be the superstar here, a champion here, and you guys may win again, but we're going to hate that. I mean, I don't know. I may be making stuff up. I may be completely off base, but I could see this being part of the whole process of the Kawhi decision, is that the NBA was kind of heavy on him and saying, we don't want you to be a Raptor any further, and we want you to go to the Clippers. And, whatever, but I want to try and repeat. No, you can't be on Toronto. They're too good then. And we can't have that. We cannot have that. Let's see. Pally Poppy saying people will think Grady is returning from a prison stint. What is this? You guys are hilarious. Some of y'all are being negative, and some of y'all want to make Grady into some sort of crazy prison guy. This is crazy. Carlos saying Kawhi was just a weird guy that will do what he wants. If it was any other player, they would have stayed. I think this is true. I don't know if this is true, though. Like, what I'm questioning here really is the NBA willing to allow an absolute top dominant superstar to stay on the Toronto franchise. If they have any say in it, they will manipulate things. We know that they didn't allow Chris Paul to come play for the Lakers once. They are more manipulative with the deals and the moves and what happens between teams than y'all realize. In some ways, they may have encouraged RJ Barrett coming to Toronto because they knew this may be good, very good for business on this side of the border with marketing. And that they were like, hell yeah, send RJ Barrett to Toronto. We love that. That's going to mean more homegrown talent and maybe more interest in the Raptors in Canada because Barrett is on that team. They're always thinking about things from a marketing standpoint. The whole idea of Kevin Durant going to Phoenix was embraced as far as a marketing standpoint. They like the idea of Dame Lillard with Giannis because it's a marketing standpoint. So RJ coming to Canada is a marketing standpoint. And don't be ignorant or, not aware of just how much the NBA may want to shape their product by having certain players be in certain places. Let's see. Tristan saying, yeah, I think Dennis does and will play well with IQ, Gary, and maybe RJ. Dennis and Gary seem to be buying into the system. As Dennis said, the guys have to do Pascal and Yak and partially Scott seem more old system. I think that the whole thing is like, look, I see Dennis reaching out and playing really well with Gary right now. He's made an established relationship with Gary Trent. He's worked very hard to be on the same page with them. Some ways people may think it's a rivalry or they're both fighting for the same spots and stuff. No, that's not how they look at it. They look at each other as teammates and they want to help each other play as best as possible. And I like that. That's what I want to see about all these different guys. Just because you may be in some ways competing for the same stuff doesn't mean you can't be looking out for the other guy and playing with them the right way. And the synergy between Gary and Dennis is very good, and they are being good teammates. And there's no kind of weird animosity between the two of them. That's for sure. Carlos saying, haha, I want to see Grady all tatted up with a teardrop tattoo on his face. You guys. Cool Cat saying, most of our Raptors players do not have tats, which I prefer. Stand out, be different from everyone else. That's the same thing with me. I don't have any. Scotty will never get any, he said. He said that on his Twitch. People were asking him, Scotty, when are you going to get a tattoo? When are you going to get a tattoo? He's like, I don't like needles. I'm not going to do it. Does our Groat have any tattoos, guys? No, he doesn't. You go look at Kyle Lowry's body. He does not have a single tattoo on his body, y'all. So there's a lot of players that don't have tats, and Scotty and Kyle are two of them. Let's see. Pally Poppy saying this trade for RJ Barrett will do wonders for Basketball Canada and youth development programs all over the country. Yeah, that's another whole thing you got to think about. The Carter effect, the Barrett effect, the Barrett effect. I'm telling you, it's going to be something. Tristan saying that said, Pascal seems to like the new acquisitions, playing with a smile on his face and bring a noticeable increase in energy. You can't fool enthusiasm. You can't fake it. And he had enthusiasm in the game. In fact, I saw enthusiasm from all the major players on the Raptors on Monday night. RJ and Emmanuel had a lot of enthusiasm on their new team with a better defensive players around them. And Pascal and Scotty seemed like they were enjoying things on Monday night also. So I think that enthusiasm, you can't hide it if it's real and true. And there was definitely real enthusiasm from Siakam in a positive way going on Monday. Sometimes Siakam gets bogged down in his own head with his feelings and depression. We've seen him in very bad places like last year. And what happens is Siakam has to come back around and remind himself, you play a game that's fun and you need to have fun. So this is an important thing. He could be having a hard time himself, but he very much has realized the best game plan for him is to have fun, fake the smile, fake it till you make it. And he will be smiling and happy. And then all of a sudden it's authentically happy. Like before the game and the pregame shoot-arounds, often it's playful stuff that he's doing. He's playing around with the trainers. He does his little soccer kicks. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. I wish that you were still doing the thing with Dennis. He wanted to do a soccer kick with you to build teammate work with you guys. And you should be out there kicking the ball around with him like the soccer ball because Dennis was interested in doing that with you when he came in. He said that. He said, I want to talk to Siakam about being a part of his little soccer ball thing. And, well, I want to see that more because that'll show a connection between Schroeder and Siakam. But that's the thing. Siakam's best when he's finding the joy of the game. And sometimes he just has to remind himself, do you enjoy this? And it's fun. And get out there and have fun. That's his best way to fight all the negativity and the bad things. It's just get back to the basics of the pure joy of the game. And that's it right there. Let's see. Where are we next? Mugabe saying, Lex, tell me a star player that wants to come to the Raptors, want to stay with the Raptors apart from Pascal. Tell me. Scotty, hopefully. I'll say RJ. RJ's one. I mean, listen, Mugabe, once again, why are y'all being so negative today? It's like different ones of y'all are coming in with negative slants in different ways. Mugabe's trying to tell me nobody wants to play for us. Stargate's trying to tell me this about Dennis. And Tristan's trying to tell me this about Darko and Pascal. Y'all, we're Raptor freaks. We're supposed to stay positive. And this isn't positive kind of talk. Those three right there that I just named, they're all negative. And what you just said is a negative trope that the U.S. has used at times. Sure, there's specific cases that will be like this, Mugabe, but we don't want to paint a whole picture like this. There's tons of people that jump at a chance to play for the Raptors, and you may be shocked. There's people like SGA. You don't think SGA would want to come back just like RJ? And he may be the most valuable player of the year for this year, the MVP of the NBA. So, yeah, let's not get it twisted, Mugabe. It's a case-by-case basis. So what if Dame Lillard's an idiot? He doesn't want to come here. So what if the NBA strong-armed Kawhi and told him he had to go home? Those cases. Kawhi came here in the first place. First, they said, no, Kawhi's not going to come play for y'all. He won't even report. Well, he did, and he won a championship here. So a lot of these narratives just need to die. And Mugabe, there's no point in us pushing them because you're a Raptors fan, and that doesn't help anything. Let's just put it that way. Jill is saying at Pally Poppy, no, not till Grady is gently deflowered will face tats appear. How do you know the status of our young men? That you just know Grady is a virgin? I don't know why we're talking about this. In some ways, I don't want to talk about the sex lives of the Raptors. I really, really don't. This channel is not for that. In some ways, I could speculate the hell out of all the stuff that they do in the NBA life and the road and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to because this is a basketball channel. And if Grady's a virgin, that's his own damn business. It has nothing to do with me. Cool Cat saying Pascal and Scotty are very fast-paced players, so the addition of IQ, RJ is a beautiful thing. We'll be firing on all cylinders. See, this is the kind of comments I want. And I'm going to give Cool Cat a dunk right here because y'all's comments are kind of whack today. I'm not going to lie. Y'all are coming at some really weird angles and weird whack kind of topics right now. So Cool Cat's going to get a dunk for just keeping it right. Like the pace of our team is increased now, and we got guys that are going to run the court, and I'm all about it. Tristan saying a garbage. Is that you, Nameless? Pally Poppy saying, laughing out loud at Jillian, he loves me. He loves me not. And he's also saying it's amazing about all the misconceptions they have about Precious about down south. They're in for a shock. If Toronto cannot find a use for Achua, you really think New York will be able to? Man, once again, I love Achua, and I'm not going to diss him or put him down. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's got to be a work in progress with one step forward, two steps forward, one step back kind of stuff. But I think he's still going to have a leap, and he's going to be a very good player still. And in some ways, I may regret this deal partly because of Achua more than OG in the long run, guys. Seriously. Tristan saying, I'm not building a negative narrative. If you watch the game film, you see Dennis not guarding and Darko talking about selfishness. Dennis saying he doesn't feel love. It's not negative. It's an observation. No, I really do feel like it's not worth pointing out right now. Once again, this is a positive Raptors channel. We're not trying to pull things apart. I've often used the term looking for strings to pull the jersey apart. And I feel like that's what a lot of y'all are doing right now. And why? We're in a good place right now. Let's just be happy and wait and see. Stay present and go forward. And let's see what happens tonight. Now, if there's some issues tonight and it doesn't lead up to winning, we'll analyze it tomorrow. But otherwise, let's project good stuff happening. And listen, this is a common thing with everybody. Everybody's going to lose a defensive assignment here and there. And if he's losing it way more than other people, I don't think that's true. I think that all the different guys blow assignments at different times. And you're just really eagle-eyeing him in particular. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, no, Lex, you misunderstand. The report is that the Raptors front office is assessing, not Pascal. Okay, I thought you were saying that he is assessing the team. I was like, and he is. Don't get me wrong. But in some ways, okay, all right, Cool Cat. I apologize if I, for misinterpreting you. I want to get it right. Isaac saying, I can appreciate the OG trade. Need to have made a trade, but the speculation that Dallas has something to offer us is nonsense. Only hockey fans want to see Siakam get traded for a can of soup. Yeah. In some ways, look, we got to learn from what New York just did with RJ. We don't want to trade Siakam. Y'all, seriously, if you're a real Raptors fan, you want Siakam to stay on this team. People that want him to leave are not necessarily know what's best for our team right now. Randolph's here. Precious memories, how they linger. I like that. Precious memories, how they linger. Gone but will never be forgotten, boys. We've got new players to focus on now. Thanks for the good times. Blessings, freaks. Blessings to you, Randolph. As always, we love you, Randolph, and blessings to the Phillips family. Tristan saying, OG is a perfect fit on the Knicks. Absolutely love him over there. Home run out of the park by Bobby and Masai. It's a good deal for both teams in some ways. I do see OG being a good factor for the Knicks. But in some ways, I think we won this deal for a lot of different reasons. Pally Poppy saying, I never truly believed Precious was committed to the game of basketball. It was never most important to him. Playing the game of basketball has allowed me to do so many other things that I enjoy. Quote by Precious. See, once again, I'm not going to sully him or put this down. I think he works hard. In fact, we saw during the period of time where it seemed like people weren't playing as hard. He was. I was pointing out, well, Precious looks like he hasn't given up. He's playing very aggressive and playing hard still. So I don't know. I'm going to disagree with anybody with that kind of statement about him not caring about basketball. That's bullshit. Tristan saying Precious was a rising star. I hope he can get back to that level and show out. Remember after he went to the Rising Stars and came back, he had an amazing closeout to that season and going into the Philadelphia first round exit against the Sixers. And he was fantastic for like 3 months in that period. And he kind of showed a different level of Precious. But we really never got it back consistently after that. A lot of it had to do with injuries and inconsistency of him being in the lineup. But yeah. In some ways, that's the whole thing with him. I hope he can be consistently healthy and he can get some things together and start building on them. We'll see. We'll see how he develops with them. Maybe he does make some leaps and bounds with the Knicks very soon. All right, Milbester's here. Good to see Knicks fan. Let's see what he's all about today. Good morning, Raptors Freak. Happy Wednesday. What's happening with the Siakam trade talks? I thought he was always safe from those things. Just a regular day today. OG against Levine and DeRozan tonight. Oh, you guys got the Bulls. No, that's going to be fun. OG's very close with DeMar, so there'll be a little bit of chumminess between them. The Siakam trains have been lingering around just like OG trade talks for a few years now. It's nothing new. The stuff with Siakam is just a bunch of hot air too, mostly. We talk about it when it's real. It's a real thing that could possibly happen. I'm not going to listen to Shams bullshit in the summer about Siakam because his sister works for the Hawks. So when he starts saying all these linkages to the Atlanta Hawks in the summer, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because honestly, Shams is compromised. Now, a lot of the talk about Siakam right now is scared. They've seen him just drop 36 on Monday night against the Cavs, and they see how good he is. And once again, I'm going to say this. The NBA doesn't like having top players like Siakam on the Raptors, and they're going to try and influence it by making a bunch of bullshit trade talk. And once again, I don't believe anything that has to do with our front office until they do something or say something. They could say anything they want on ESPN about Siakam getting traded. I won't believe them. They could say anything about Siakam getting traded in the Canadian media, and I won't believe them because I will only believe it until I hear it from either a Woj bomb or that Masai and Bobby are talking about it themselves, but they don't do that. So the trade talk is the same thing. It's been going on for 3 years, and the OG trade talk was the same, but it got teeth and it became reality recently. I don't know if it will with Siakam, though. I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. Yeah, and what's up from Tristan? But thanks for being here, Milbester, and thanks for keeping it on task. Good luck against the Bulls tonight. I'd like to see OG have a good game. How about that? Let's see. Trevor's saying New York Knicks front office is realizing that Raptors front office is nothing to play with. They will get you all the time. Yeah, they didn't learn their lesson. In some ways, there were rumors that James Dolan is not about dealing with Masai because he feels like he fools him. Like they nixed the Kyle Lowry trade to New York way back because he didn't trust him after the Bargnani trade. He's like, that's the whole truth of it. Like they didn't do the trade. They have Kyle Lowry. He was going to be a New York Knick, but they canceled it because they didn't trust and they thought that Masai Ujiri was putting one over on them. Well, they screwed up. Kyle Lowry ended up winning a championship with us after that. And well, in some ways, they're very hesitant in New York to do deals with Toronto, and rightfully so. Because usually we rip them off. And even when we don't make the deal, we rip them off. Like Kyle Lowry. Knicks, you just can't get it right. You just don't know when to deal with us. You just don't know when. Let's see. Milbester's saying, you wouldn't believe how upset I was yesterday from Stephen A. on what he said about OG. He's from the old generation of Knickerbockers. The media in New York is so toxic to us. Stephen A. doesn't help much. Yeah, I hate that. I hate that for you guys. He's supposedly a Knicks fan. Well, he really doesn't act like it. In some ways, it's like Shev. It's like these guys are classically Knicks fans. Shev's a big Knicks fan, and he converted to the Raptors during the bubble season. He gave up on the Knicks, and he threw his hands up, and he said, I'm going with Raptors Nation now. And I commend him. That was a tough decision to make, but he did it. But in some ways, it's true. Like Stephen A. Smith, if you really care about this team, you have a huge national platform, and you could be more helpful towards them. They're trying to integrate a new player. And you dissing OG and kind of going after him right now is not helpful for anything. And I would say that. And Mel Bester, hey, I'm with you on this. I think Stephen A. Smith sometimes needs to just hold it to himself because he's not helping y'all. In some ways, I get it. He's got to do the national broadcast stuff that he does on ESPN, but he would frustrate the hell out of me if I was a Knicks fan for sure. Jillian saying when Darko recognizes Pascal's hot hand, he's got to use it. Yeah, he's getting better about that. He's heard the criticism about Siakam's killing it and you've gone away from him. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you go to Siakam over and over again? Just abuse that mismatch. And he's figured it out and he's utilizing it much better. And we're seeing the results in Siakam's stat line. Cool Cat saying we can't assess the play style right now because our two new players don't know the system as yet. IQ said they played like a gym run against the Cavs. They have no familiarity as yet. Yeah, he was saying that it was like a pickup basketball game in some ways on Monday. But, once again, systems have similarities. And there's a lot of stuff that they were doing with Thibodeau in New York that's probably carries over here. And in some ways, if you've been in the NBA for a while, you kind of understand how things work and the framework and the template of building your system and stuff. And because they're both intelligent guys and they're quick learners, I'm sure that it's easier for them to pick up what we're doing than the average NBA player. So I don't know. We'll see. In some ways, I think that some of the stuff we were doing on Monday, obviously, Darko's got tape on it and he can continue to do it if it worked. Why wouldn't he? If it's something successful, you want to continue to, you put a pin in it, as Nick used to say, and hold it for later and keep it for around for a weapon for later. So there was a lot of good stuff that was discovered on Monday, and we may just see more of it. But yeah, integrating more of the system itself, the real infrastructure, and not just having a run. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Pally Poppy saying it's amazing that Masai was able to recuperate basically a first-round pick as an insurance policy in case we end up giving ours to San Antonio. Furio Classe for this management group, as they say in Italy. I don't even know what I said. Furio Classe. I like it. I like it. Whatever that means, I'm with it. I'm with it. Wayne's saying, freaks, Zach Edey is a cerebral big that doesn't have to be quick, just useful in general play. Don't think other NBA teams are interested in him. Bring a good Canadian talent home. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. He's familiarity with playing with RJ and Team Canada this summer. So that's a good thing right there. Milbester saying that dunk Ja did on Wembayama was insane. I didn't see it. I don't watch the highlights. Milbester, I really do not watch any of that. But yeah, we're going to see Ja tonight. And yeah, the Spurs did not win. The Grizzlies beating the Spurs last night on the first night of the back-to-back. Jillian saying, okay, Lex, now we know I will write rhymes towards getting a three-pointer. Yeah, there's different ways you can get dunks and three-pointers. There's ultra creativity, witty smarts, and funniness. Whether it's something that's like insightful and really smart observation that's bringing it to our attention, or it's just a really funny joke that makes me laugh. Those are different ways to do it. Stargate starts saying, I'm not trying to highlight conflict at all. That's not me. However, if I see the issue that ATR occurring that I think is detrimental to the team's success on the court, I will point it out. Okay. Well, it's noted about Dennis and his defense stuff. I'll watch it closer tonight just because you brought it up. And if it is an issue that I think it's a problem too, I'll bring it up tomorrow too. All right. How about that, Stargate? Yeah. And I understand your intentions are right. It's just in some ways I'm like, let's let it just work and let's not pick it apart right now. Let's not pick it apart. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I feel a section of our fan base fall the media storylines, fall for the U.S. media storylines. Yeah, they do. In some ways, they see ESPN, or maybe they're like, oh, the American media is just the end all be all. They don't understand how they're sheep, and they're getting a one over in the perception war in a bad way. In some ways, you're taught to hate yourself as a Raptor fan by the U.S. media. So in some ways, why you hate the Raptors or why you hate like certain things about the Raptors is very heavily influenced by that media machine down there. So just stop. Understand this, that in some ways they're training our own fans to hate our own team because of the way they treat us on the broadcast. And there's all kinds of parallels I could use in society that show this. You know, you could use immigrant groups. It's the same thing. They train you to hate Mexican people coming to the U.S. because they think that you're coming to take their jobs and all this kind of crap. Well, that's part of it. In some ways, if you're that person, like you could say you're an immigrant person trying to come to the U.S. through the border in Mexico, and you see all this stuff on the news about the problem with people like you coming on Fox News or something like that, maybe you internalize some self-hatred for yourself because you hear all that stupid noise on the air. I'm telling you, this is something that's insidious, has been used by the media for a long, long time. You can talk about the TV and movies and portrayals of people in those movies and stuff, and how it signifies archetypes. And it can instill in certain groups of people not necessarily being happy to be in those certain groups, is what I'm saying. So this is kind of the same effect. It's not in the most damaging way like what I just described, but on a sports way, and it's a little frivolous in some ways. But Raptors fans are taught by the media in the U.S. to hate themselves. And they hate the team because of the way they cover us. It's very it's media tricks. It's the way they write the copy. It's the way they headline things. I've even thought deeply as this. Often we're wearing the black jerseys on the road, and they'd be like we're playing the Celtics at home, and they're wearing the white jerseys. And it very much is a signifying of like white cowboy hat, black cowboy hat, cowboy kind of Western, good guy, bad guy, villain kind of thing. And, they want to paint us as the heel. They want to paint us as the dark side. And in some ways, I thought that part of the reason why they changed our jerseys from black and to black and red more often than white and red is that, in some ways we instill national pride for Canada when we wear red and white jerseys. And in some ways, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but there is underlying symbolism that subliminally and some of the stuff around the Raptors that y'all may need to be like more cognizant of is basically what I'm saying. That's all. Maybe we're going a little too conspiracy theory on that. But I think that the way that our jerseys look on the road with the red and black jerseys is very much like painting us as the heel in some ways, just so you know. Yeah. Let's see. Milbester saying the Canadian media. Oh, wait, it just jumped. I'm sorry about that. And it looks like we got a Knicks fan in here today. Another one. And it looks like they're kind of monopolizing the stream. We'll see if he survives. You may not. Milbester, you may be the only Knicks fan we like here today. Let's see. All right, I want to get back to, he's talking about the Canadian media. I want to see what he's saying. Of course, I can't go by my normal 12 o'clock cutoff because I started a half hour late. The Canadian media is going to be good to RJ. He handled the media well in New York, where they're more tough on players, but Canada is a chill market, which is good for the Raptors. Yeah, I think that we're going to be fine with RJ. He's already a hero nationally because he's a bronze medal winner at FIBA. And in some ways, they love this story. It makes easier writing for Doug Smith and different people around the Raptors to just write those feel-good Canadian stories around RJ. So, yeah, in some ways, I worry about OG and the flip because he's so aloof and kind of like short commented. And in some ways, he's unemotional. And I think that a lot of people in your fan nation may misread him initially. Y'all are going to have to get to know him, that he's a very special, unique personality. And in some ways, his interviews may not be exactly what you think they're going to be. He's very matter of fact. In some ways, he's not very creative. They've asked him, what books did you read? And he's like, I don't remember. He said, what do you like about Texas? I don't know. So you guys got to get ready to learn his personality and accept him for who he is. That's the advice I can give Knicks Nation right now as pertaining to Anunoby. Your press may be very kind of like frustrated with him also because he's not going to be a good quote. He never has been a good quote here in Toronto, and he's not going to be a good quote in New York either. So be ready for that, y'all. Stargate saying, I will not put any player over the team. No player is beyond criticism. It's not that I'm just saying that right now things are good. And if we're in a bad place, let's do the negative stuff then. I want to just go into good mode right now, Stargate. And I just want to be, everything's happy and cheery and sunshiny. And I don't want to really talk about the negatives and the lumps. We're in a good place. I want to see this team play really well tonight. I want to see them succeed. And I want to talk about good things tomorrow. And there's no reason to talk about all this negative stuff, is what I'm saying. Wayne's saying, I called you Gil. Jill, swap the J for the G. Merci. Okay, he called you Gil, and I read his comment. I apologize, Jill. It's Jillian. It's Jill. We got it. Milbester saying, Siakam is my favorite player on the Raptors. Always has been. He's such a talented player. I know he's had some amazing performances in MSG. In fact, he got a 50 piece in MSG. And there's not a whole lot of great players in this league that have done that. He added his name to the list of opposing players that scored 50 in y'all's building. And that's not a very big list. Tristan saying, because Pascal holds the ball longer than 0.5, and sometimes Siakam has to defy the system to play his game. Obviously, why do you think Dennis is talking about not everyone buying into the system? See, once again, you guys are bringing up stuff that's not necessary right now. It really isn't. Milbester saying, Raptors freak, Schroeder is awesome too. I saw his press conference and he looked like Dennis Rodman. It was great. Milbester, I'm giving you a dunk because you just said that Dennis Schroeder looked like Dennis Rodman, and I love that, man. Milbester, you're climbing up on the dunk sheet this year. You've already got 2 for the new year already. We're 3 days in, and Milbester, Knicks fans, got 2 dunks on the Raptors channel. That's awesome. Tristan saying, because Pascal, okay, I already read that one. Cool Cat saying, folks, Pascal manipulates the defense. It is a skill he developed under Nick Nurse. He's not holding the ball blindly. Yeah, I think that Siakam has worked so hard to get to where he is at the point with his game that honestly, we need to let him be him because he's really good. And I have no problem with it. Tristan saying, and him not feeling love. Yes, Siakam is literally taking things in his own hands at times, which is allowing him to score more. but he holds it longer. So by nature, it's not 0.5. I have no problem with Siakam breaking the 0.5 thing. And I've also said the 0.5 thing was really initially for the Raptors to break the not communicating and passing with each other that they did last year under Nick. The 0.5 system was really just to break them of old habits. And now that the assist numbers are up, the passing's much better. He's not holding them so hard to the 0.5 thing. Now, other people around the NBA are saying stuff like, well, if you have the ball longer than 0.5, then you messed up. And that's just a general NBA mentality at this point, to not dribble so much and hold the ball so much in one player. There's really is a movement of people wanting to move the ball around a lot. And it's not just with our coach, Darko. There's a lot of this going on around the league and other teams too. Milbester's saying the lineup has always been interesting because I always saw Scotty as a point guard, but he's a small forward, and they have Dennis, a shooter, but you guys have Quickly and Shooter who can easily score 15 points a game. It's ambiguous who our playmaker is, and it could be a different person every possession, and I'm all about it. G saying 0.5 all the time is unrealistic, though, and actually makes them predictable. Siakam demands doubles, which frees up players when he draws them on. 0.5 will allow for man and zone defenses. I think this is similar to what Cool Cat was saying, that Siakam demands certain things and he opens up things for other people on the defense. And that's why what he's doing is like something he's learned on a learning curve the years of his career so far. So we want to continue his work as a player in developing and understanding the doubles and how they come and how to pass out of them better and better. He's been doing a better and better job as career went on. And I want to see him get even better. Let's see. Tristan saying statements are not necessarily complaints, just observations, my dude. I think RJ and Quickly will help with Darko and the team is trying to accomplish. That's all I'm saying. It's all good, man. I figured we're coming in this game. Things are looking so bright. I just don't want to be negative in any kind of way. And I'm not necessarily, in some ways, maybe I'm indicting you guys a little bit too harshly on this. You guys have the right intentions. You just want the team to be better and better. And in some ways, I'm not having patience with any kind of negativity at all today. And maybe I should have a little bit more. Carlos saying a 0.5 is a basketball theory. We have more variation in attacks with Pascal's ISOs, which seem to be working real good. Yep, I like all that. Milbester saying Raptors can beat teams like Orlando and Indiana. Yeah, we beat Indiana in a close game, in a high-scoring game earlier this season. Toronto's got more bigs and solid scores around the rotations. Just surprised where they are in the East, but the East is competitive now than what it used to be. This is so true, Milbester. The East is better this year than ever. I think it's better than the West. And the teams that were not that good are good now. And it's very, very tough to have an easy opponent in the Eastern Conference at this point. I don't know if we're better than Orlando. I wish we are. But in some ways, Orlando has really leveled up recently, and they're tough. Pally Pappy saying, I'm so impressed with this front office's ability to adjust and move away from certain players and not be overly stubborn to the point of detriment to the team. Wow. I want more of those voices around Raptors Nation in favor of the front office, please. Carlos saying, Mel, we can probably beat the Knicks too. Well, we'll get to find out. We're going to go to New York soon. At some point, we're going to go see the Knicks right away and get to see Raptors versus Knicks matchup in MSG, I think later this month. So we'll see. Milbester saying, of course the Raptors can beat us. Toronto always gives us problems for years. Van Vliet killed us, and Siakam always destroyed us. We all had our number earlier this season, but now we did this trade, and now in some ways y'all helped us, and we are going to be a better team going forward this season. That may be part of the frustration and the anger for Knicks Nation, is that like y'all helped us get it out of the mud. You really did in some ways. Let's see. Pally Pappy saying it shows real courage and professionalism on behalf of this organization. The group, I'm more comfortable with them at the helm moving forward. Messiah and Bobby are the ultimate leaders. There you go. I love that. Nameless. I should give you a dunk for that. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do it under your normal name, not that one. Two dunks for Nameless this year so far. Tristan saying, yeah, Mel, I've seen synergy between them already. And Pascal isn't the problem. Yeah, Pascal's fine. Cool Cat saying Pascal's body thanks Darko. And now that he's figured out his spots, Darko's efficiency is getting easier shots. Yeah, I feel like everything's working so much smoother and not so hard for Siakam right now. In fact, it's a lot smoother than under Nick. I really do feel like Darko is actually unlocking some things that are making Siakam's life easier for sure, just like Cool Cat's saying. Milbester saying Quickly and Shooter easily average 15 points a game, and that's so good. Yeah, I don't know if Shooter's going to average 15 a game, but I want Emmanuel to get at least 15. If not, getting closer to 20. I definitely want that. G saying, speaking of Pascal, Chev just dropped trade who? About Pascal. There you go. That's what I want to hear from Chev. He's fighting the fight to say we do not need to trade Siakam. And we need as many voices saying that kind of stuff. Milbester's saying the thing with RJ is his motor. He got slower, but that's because he got strong in the offseason when he played for FIBA. He improved a lot this summer, but his speed got slower. Yeah, he's more bullish. He's very much like the thing about at FIBA that I really loved is he's so physical near the basket. And a lot of what he was getting success, he wasn't hitting the outside shot as well this summer, but when he would go down low and he'd do anything near the basket, he was so good. Like I was like, wow, he's actually a really good post player. So I'm excited about those kind of things. And I can see what you're saying. It's like RJ got a little bit bigger and it made him a little bit slower. Well, we'll see how that goes. I don't mind the new version of him because he's a bully. He's a bully at this point. Milbester's saying, but he'll figure it out in Toronto as he gets better in his career. You guys are going to love RJ when he gets hot. When he's red hot, he's on a hot streak in the game. He goes 30 points easy. I'm excited about it too. And I think that there's really is an X factor of him playing for his home team, his home city, his home country that is going to bring some certain things out of him in certain ways. I don't know. I hope so. G saying, my thoughts on Pascal, sign and pay that man. He wants to be here. Total professional, great player. He has chemistry with Scotty and he actually helps Scotty. I completely agree with G. Tristan saying, but acting like everything is fine is literally delusional since Dennis said he doesn't feel love and people aren't buying into the system. Apparently that's negative. Well, that was Saturday and we played on Monday and everything looked fine to me. I apologize to Scotty. And in some ways, maybe Dennis is like feeling way better about people having his back just after the first game after his interview. In fact, I think what Dennis did on Saturday was brilliant because already in the first game after his interview, I see people having his back. So maybe he just said something and people heard him. And they're like, you know what, Dennis? I want you to feel like I have your back. So we're going to have your back now. And boom, I saw it. So am I getting the order of things out of place? Because I feel like what Dennis did was smart and there was an adjustment on the game on Monday. And now this issue isn't as big a problem at this point. Now, if we see it reoccur tonight and we got to talk about it tomorrow, we'll do that. But right now, it seems like people got Dennis's back. I saw Scotty had Dennis's back on Monday. And that's why I apologize to Scotty Barnes. And same thing with other people like Gary. Gary and Dennis are connecting and they're fine. And the new guys are great with Dennis. In fact, the new guys may be part of the reason why we're bridging this problem of Dennis not feeling like people have his back. It really is. It's about the defense. It's not about anything else. Dennis wants to feel like they got his back on the defensive end, that if he blows the assignment, somebody's going to be there to pick it up before the person gets to a layup. That's really the main thing right there. Let's see. Pally Poppy saying, we have the best management group in the entire NBA, and the U.S. media will try and gaslight us to believe otherwise. Well, they wanted him to leave. They wanted him in New York. They wanted him in Washington. They tried to get Masai to come, and he's defiant. And this is why Raptors fans should really love Masai, because he's a real one. He's with us. He's Canadian. He doesn't want to work for a U.S. team. In fact, I think he said this. He said, I will go and retire and go to Africa before I will go work for another NBA team. That's how diehard he is for us, guys. And y'all are going to throw him under the bus and talk all this trash about Masai Ujiri when he is like true blue Raptor, bro. In fact, at this point, he said, fuck the Knicks, fuck the Nets. He said, fuck the whole NBA. And that's why they hate him, because they want him to come run a team down there to make a team like the Wizards better and make the team actually finally good at some point. They wanted him in New York 10 years ago. And he said, screw that. I don't want to go work with Phil Jackson. Fuck New York. He said that. I was there in the room when he said it. It was awesome. It was on the George Strombolopoulos show. And I was sitting in the room with him when he said that. I heard it right out of his ear. I was like, oh, you go. That's my GM. That's my vice president of the team. Did people not realize this about Masai? That he is such a real one, that he could have sold us out for more money already a long time ago, and he never did. So that's what, put some respect on this man's name and protect the hell out of him, because he is a real one. He's the best at what he does. And the NBA wants him to be on a U.S. team to help some of those teams get out of the mud. But he refused. And in some ways, that's why they punished the Raptors, is because he didn't go run the Wizards and make them better. Seriously, think about it. Winters that shit. Put your fingers up in the air and what is this? Masai said he said fuck all the U.S. NBA teams. He won't come work for anybody other than Toronto. Yeah, there's a reason why they come after us. There's a reason why they badmouth him. There's a reason why they gaslight us on him, because he's a real one. He's got this symbol on his heart. And it ain't changing. It ain't changing. They tried. They say, well, we'll give you this money. We say, he can't be bought. He's like me. We can't be bought. When it's about your passion, when it's about who you are as your identity, you can't be bought. I can't be bought. Masai can't be bought. So there you go. There you have it. There you have it. Sure, he's making amazing amount of money with us, but honestly, he could have been lured away from our team before we even won the championship. They were coming after him that early because he was so good. And he didn't. He didn't sell us out. He stuck with us. He stayed with the vision, and he's trying like hell to make that first championship look bona fide by getting the second one. And y'all want to stab him in the back and get him the hell out of here? Did you hear what I said just now about Ujiri, Raptors Nation? And understand that's the damn truth, that he couldn't be bought to go work for a team in the U.S. He's a Canadian, and he is proud to be in charge of the Raptors. And it's not going to change. He said, I'd rather retire. I'll go run things in Africa after this, after the Raptors. I'm not going to go work for y'all after this. No, he's not going to go to another team after us. I wish y'all would understand that. I wish you all would. Really, really would. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Milbester's saying that's because the Canada media is more polite than U.S. media is toxic and corporate. They're toxic and corporate up here too, Milbester. They are. They may be a little nicer, a little goofier, but they're just the same up here. Our media is horrible. Honestly, they ask the stupidest questions sometimes. Let's see. The business culture in Canada is miles apart from the U.S. It's not actually, though. No, we have a lot of the same issues up here. Corporatism and a lot of the corporate culture is in Toronto heavily right now. In fact, this is part of the reason why this stupid city's unlivable, because the stupid shit with the way this city is, ordinary people can't live in Toronto anymore. They can't afford to because the corporations are too greedy. And that's a big part of it right there. Wayne's saying, wow, Lex, yes, you're completely off base with Kawhi, not taken up for the NBA, but Americans are nonsensical. Canada's cold. Ever been to Milwaukee or Boston? Take taxes. Yes, an issue. Kawhi is just weird. See, I've thought a lot about this in 5 years, about Kawhi's motives and why. And I really do feel like there was a part of him that did want to stay. He was being honest when he said that, when he was saying it made it really hard for me to make the decision. He had the intention to go home when he came here in the first place. But when we won, and he saw everything like that, it was difficult for him to make that decision. Either way, this is nonsensical thing to make an argument about. In some ways, it's just our different perceptions. And in some ways, Wayne, you can have your idea about it all. I can have mine. In some ways, mine has changed more recently to this, that I do really think, and my eyes are wide open, like Chuck D's, that the NBA really kind of mandated that Kawhi had to leave Toronto no matter what. Seriously, he may have been very little wanting to stay with Toronto, but it could have been very much that Adam Silver highline. Kawhi, you cannot stay in Toronto. They're too good, and we do not want this team to be at the top of the league like this. And then when we had the top record in the league after that, they didn't like that either. And the pandemic was very convenient. Very, very convenient. Paul B saying, how do you envision Koloko impacting wins once he starts playing? I'm not giving him any kind of schedule to do anything for us at all. It's very much baby steps, Paul. He's so far behind. He hasn't played basketball since May. Since the season ended. Not the beginning of the season. He didn't do anything this whole summer or the beginning of the season. So you can't expect Koloko to instantly just come in and do anything to help us at this point. He's going to have to be ramped up. We're going to have to see what his endurance is like. We're going to have to see all kinds of stuff. So don't expect Koloko to come in and be a last-second hero to the season. In fact, if he shows up anywhere near the last 2 months of the season, he's a wash for this year. He's a wash. He needs to show up sooner, and then maybe we can ramp him up before the All-Star break. And then for the last part of the season after the All-Star break, maybe he can contribute in meaningful ways. But otherwise, I don't want to throw him out there, first of all, because he's not in game shape. He's not anywhere near ready to do anything to help us. So don't expect this impact to come, if at all, this season. How about that? Carlos saying, having an NBA team in Canada is playing the game in hard mode. I think this is a great way of putting it, Carlo. In fact, I'm going to give you a dunk because I feel like that exemplifies exactly right there. In some ways, the Boston Celtics are playing on easy mode and we're playing on hard mode. And I think that that's a very easy, simple way to get across to people the difference in what we're up against and other teams is that Boston may be on the simple mode, rookie mode. And we're on the absolute hard mode in some ways. Absolute. I think that's exactly right. Put Toronto in the States and it'll be a free agent destination. Masai and Bobby have to navigate so many obstacles. perception war that Wayne Strainer's talking about is too cold, the taxes. That is part of the weapons they utilize to hurt our chances to bring people here. They did it right from the bat, and it's a stigma that the Raptors franchise has tried to beat in the whole existence of this team. And we've done better and better at it as time goes on. But yeah, this was a weaponized perception thing used. It's not like it's any colder here than it is New York, Boston, Chicago, Wisconsin, any of these places. It's not any colder here than Minnesota. It's just that they like to put that in everybody's faces. And then the tax thing is stupid too, because in a lot of ways, because the Canadian dollar is not as good with the US dollar, the American players living in Canada are actually making more money because they get paid here in US dollars. And they're, and it's all converting. In some ways, if they have smart accountants and they're doing good things with their money, they're actually making more money playing for the Toronto Raptors than they would for the United States teams because of the exchange rate, and the fluctuation of the Canadian dollar to the US dollar can be a factor in how they can actually increase their earnings. Now, they're going to say, oh, there's taxes this, taxes that. Well, some of them are smart, and they don't actually do all their taxes here in some ways. So I've heard players say that this whole thing about the taxes and the problems with the team is absolute bullshit. In fact, in some ways, the financial situation of being an American player, being paid in American dollars in Canada, actually makes them more money. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So let's see. Jillian saying, I want a white tat. I want a white tat. Country Cog saying, Pascal Siakam, Spicy P is scorching hot right now. I rewatched the Cavs game and couldn't believe some of the shots he was making. He made 5 threes and even hit a clutch turnaround fadeaway. That's spicy. That was that Jordan shot, that clutch turnaround fadeaway. That was so Jordan. And the 5 of 8 at 3-point line. Woo! I love it. I wish he could do it on the road. Hopefully he can still. Milbester saying Canada just needs more pro sports team in the NBA and MLB. They dominate NHL with many Canadian teams, but they still don't win Stanley Cups. And that's Gary Bettman's legacy. That, we're trying to expand the NHL in the U.S. If the Cups are going to Canada over and over again, that's no good. So in some ways, he puts hard mode on the Canadian NHL teams. So that, teams like Boston, the Lightning, Vegas, all these other teams are getting shine because some of the markets they're in need the help. Like the team needs to be winning in Tampa for people to go to the games. The team needs to be winning in Arizona for people to go to the games because hockey's not natural in these parts of the country. So Gary Bettman will hurt the Canadian teams from winning Stanley Cups because he thinks that they should win. So don't expect a Leafs Cup. Who's the last team that won? The Canadians. And that was like one out of the last 30 years that there's been a Canadian Stanley Cup. So in some ways, yeah, don't say that we dominate the NHL. We have 8 teams out of the 30, and our teams have not won very many cups in the last few decades. And it's very much on purpose to expand the game in the United States side by Gary Bettman. Tristan saying, P Skills going off for sure. And best, there's too many teams. I don't know if we'll get another team here in the NBA or in the MLB. In some ways, I think that in some ways they wish that our teams weren't not here in Toronto. And that's part of the whole problem right now, was that we're the one thing that doesn't belong because we're the only Canadian teams in the leagues. And I get it. And they're more likely to want to not have us in the league than give another team on this side of the border at this point. I think on the download, that's how it is. Because sports is big money. And sure, they make money in our markets, but they're also realizing that it helps the country of Canada with their GDP having more sports teams involved in U.S. sports leagues. So Pally Poppy saying Grady Dick needs a skull tat. This is crazy. Like shave his head and do a Bam Bam Bigelow, like all flames on his head. That would be weird. Like if Grady showed up with Bam Bam Bigelow's dome, that would be so weird. I don't know what Carmen Dick would think. I think she would be kind of upset, honestly. I think she would be. Tristan's laughing about it. A flame on top of his dome. You really do want him to do the Bam Bam Bigelow. Holy crap. Let's see. Wayne Strainer saying microphone sounds awesome, especially when closer to it. Should get more female subscribers. Well, okay. I'll do some ASMR. Well, welcome, listeners. How are you doing today? We're just here talking Raptors here today. All right, let's see. Kev Rodriguez. Knicks Nation. We here is here. And he's got that orange and blue. Put it on blast. Good morning, Kev. Welcome to Raptors Freak Space. This is a home of the diehard positive Raptors fans. And we'll see what you're all about here. He's saying, I ain't going to lie. The trade worked out for both teams. All right. That's a good start. I like it. But I'm going to miss RJ and Quick. Yeah. I mean, we're going to miss OG. And once again, I will tell you guys, Knicks Nation, Milbester and Kev, listen, treat OG right. Treat OG right. I don't give a shit how y'all treat Malachi, but go ahead and treat him right. And Precious, too. Precious is a good guy, too. You guys are going to like both those guys a lot. I will say this once again, Kev and Milbester, you guys got two of the guys that were on the Raptors that can guard all 5 positions. Precious can do it, too. OG can do it, but so can Precious. And Thibodeau's going to enjoy putting Precious not only on people like Embiid, but also he can guard Maxey. So that's something y'all need to understand about Precious. He's an all-around good defender, just like Scotty and OG. We had 3 of those guys on our team, and y'all got 2 of them in this deal. So respect Achua's defensive acumen, because he's done really good in certain ways on defense too. So you're going to like him too. Let's see. Carlos saying, enjoy OG. Watch him clamp up NBA stars. That's right. That's going to be the fun part for you guys. You're going to look across. You're playing the Bulls tonight. And this is the fun part. I'll give you a little scout for this. DeMar and OG are very close. He was his vet early on, and OG got to play with him as a rookie. And what DeMar always says is that OG fouls me all the time when he's trying to guard me. He calls him out. He's like, oh, you just fouled me. You just fouled me again. So that matchup between Anunoby and DeMar DeRozan tonight is going to be fun. Y'all get to watch the OG Plumbing Company and see how much he shuts down his old friend DeMar DeRozan of the Knicks tonight. Of course, you probably switch him on to Zach, too, for a bit tonight. And that's the thing. You know, when you guys played Minnesota on Monday, he wasn't just guarding Anthony Edwards. And sure, he did a pretty good job on him, although he did get his regardless. But he's also going to go down there and mix it up with strength against people like Gobert and Towns also. So you're getting a really, I think he's the best defensive player in the entire NBA, and he has been for a few years now on the down low. Just nobody talks about it enough. I appreciate the subscription, Kev. And listen, like Milbester, I love the interaction with other fans from other nations. We have a Philly fan that come in here. We have a couple fans from Nuggets Nation recently. And hey, more Knicks fans coming in here, especially if they're good, positive people that just want to talk hoops. We have a honorability about the two teams meeting each other. We just want to see the best team win out of the two teams and nobody get hurt. We just want to see good basketball. Then you have something in common with us, Kev. I'm all about it. I want to have more positive, non-toxic basketball fans in this chat. And I don't care who they root for, just as long as they're what I just said. 100% subscribed. I appreciate that. Tristan is saying, who said I'm not happy? I don't know. I'm sure you are very happy. Firebolt's saying, I don't understand all the negativity. This is the most positive I felt about the team in a few years. Yeah, that's exactly why I'm like, let's just keep it going, man. Tristan saying, Kev, appreciate it. Love the trade for both sides. There you go. Getting a warm welcome from the Raptor Freaks for Knicks fan Kev. I like it. Kev Rodriguez. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I feel his foot hindered his performance. I hope it can go away so we can get the fire buckets made in 2024. Yeah, you're talking about Gary. Yeah, we need Gary to get over his plantar fasciitis so that he can play better. Kept saying, hey, what up, Tristan? 100%. I like that. He's coming in nice. Wayne's saying, okay, basketball, what's the injury report on the Grizzlies? How's their three-point shooting? All right, so their big men are gone. Steven Adams been out the whole season. Brandon Clark's not coming back until All-Star. And Derrick Rose is a little banged up. He's day-to-day. He got hurt in the game last night against the Spurs, and he did not return to the game. So we'll see whether Derrick Rose is playing or not. In some ways, of course, Nick Nation is in here with us. We're going to see the reunion of RJ with Derrick Rose and quickly in the game tonight. And we'll see how these guys have warmness towards each other. I'm sure Derrick Rose is somebody that they really like and value as the old vet from being around the Knicks the last couple of years. So that'll be a fun thing to see RJ and Emmanuel interacting with Derrick Rose tonight as far as things. But yeah, that's the injury report right there. It's basically just day-to-day for Derrick Rose, and the other guys have already been out. Their three-point shooting is not bad. I mean, there are certain people we got to watch out for more than often than others. Like Luke Kennard is somebody in particular I'll talk about. Desmond Bane also is somebody they need to find and make sure he's just not bombing. Of course, all the issues you're going to have with Ja Morant, you're going to have to watch out for him too. Let's see. Kev saying Happy New Year's to the chat and to the panel. Thank you, Kev Rodriguez. Man, coming in with some positivity. You know what? You come in so strong, man. You're getting a dunk on the Raptor Freak channel right away in your debut. What a great debut by Kev Rodriguez. We're going to put that, and I'm going to put NYC next to your name so we know what team you're coming from. I'm going to put NYK because that's New York Knicks. That's right. And there's a dunk for Kev right there. I love it. Starting the year off right and building bridges instead of tearing them down. That's what I like. Tristan saying, yeah, I said nothing negative and Lex took it the wrong way. Prayers. I don't know. Maybe I'm sensitive to this. I just want sunshiny days right now. Apologize, guys. In some ways, I was just like, man, why are we talking about this? We got so many other things we could talk about, like the promise and the possibilities with RJ and IQ on our team. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want to talk about more in some ways. Neil's here. Lose tonight? Hell no. Memphis on the second night of a back-to-back. We're going to go down to Memphis and scorch them. Yeah, they went to St. Jude's Hospital last night and made a visit to the kids there. That's always good kind of vibes and energy to put in your team. That connection with being gratitude and seeing, people that have a different life and they're in a tough place, that can really ground you quick. So kudos to them. And it looks like somebody gave out some gifted memberships. It's Trevor J gifting 5 memberships. We're going to have to see who got them when we get down to the bottom here. Let's see. Kev saying, no, I think this deal was even. It worked out for both teams. Well, I think that OG is absolutely fantastic. Seriously. And you guys are really going to need, you guys need a defense. With Mitchell out, that hurt your defense a lot. It's too bad Robinson's not available for you guys for the rest of the year because he's such a good defensive center for you guys. So in some ways, OG is going to help shore up things. And then if you think about it, you guys re-sign OG this offseason and you come back next year with both Mitchell Robinson and OG out there. Yeah, you guys are going to have a much better defensive look. I think that it works out for both teams, partly because we gave each other what we needed. We needed more offense. Y'all needed more defense. And that's really what this trade comes down to basically in the long run. I feel like the Raptors have a much more capable ability to keep up with the high scoring and three-point shooting in the league now by making this move. And in some ways, you guys have a better defensive stopper to really shut down specific players on other teams on any night. You guys are going to play the Bulls tonight. He's going to try and shut down Levine and DeRozan for you guys as much as possible. In fact, he did a lot of the work on Levine because Levine usually torches the Raptors and OG would have to go guard him and really something. We're going to miss this because in a lot of ways, we had a thing on this channel called the OG Plumbing Company. And it's basically OG's got that big wrench. He's going to come and cut the water off on the number one star on the other side. So you guys got that OG Plumbing Company and you're going to find out. It's going to be fun to see him and how much he stops people. Real basketball heads that really pay close attention are going to love OG because you're going to see the little things that he does. And you're going to be like, holy crap, this guy is really good at defense. Really, really good at defense. And I'm glad, too, that he's going to get more exposure and he'll finally get some of the accolades for what he's been doing for the Raptors the last few years that just gets overlooked by the NBA in general. He's going to get his shine finally with you guys, and much deservedly so. I'm very happy about that. Firebolt saying, okay, I got you, Tristan. I've been on mostly audio only for the last hour, so I wasn't watching the chat. And once again, guys, I love you guys. Do it however you want, and I'm going to react however I want. And I just felt like there's some of the ways we were just being negative when we don't need to be. That's all. And maybe I did misinterpret you, just like I misinterpreted Cool Cat and what she said about Siakam earlier. There is a communication that could break down between texts and writing and inflection that you guys are saying. And maybe you're saying it in a totally different way than I read it. And that may be part of the disconnect right there for sure. Tristan saying, Kev, Precious has some serious upside too. If you've seen his 2021, 2022 highlights, I think with the right fit, he can get back to that level. The thing about Precious is he's a lot like Scotty. Like in some ways, I really do see him as an all-around stud talent that can do anything on the court. In fact, I'm not scared of him taking shots. I think that he's automatic. The people got really worried when he started shooting threes when he showed up here from Miami. And I was like, no, let him do it. He's got good form, and he does make them a lot. He makes them just as much as the rest of the Raptors. Why are you pointing out that Precious shouldn't be taking threes? And then the other thing about him is he's a good ball handler. You're going to find that Precious can bring the ball up the court, and what he does is aggressive. He doesn't slow down. He'll get the ball, and he may be like a big quickly. Like he'll come right down the court and go right to the basket, just like RJ was doing for us on Monday, except he does it his own way. And he does instill fear when he's coming down the court because he can burst really fast. And then all of a sudden he's just jamming it on their heads. So y'all be ready for that too, Knicks Nation. That Precious is an open court threat. And if you give him the ball in the open court in transition, he will go and throw it down on them. He will. He will. And I love seeing that. It's so fun. Country Kong saying, welcome, Kev. Best of luck to the Knicks Nation. Please take care of Malachi Flynn for us. See, JP's worried about Malachi, but he may be the only one here. That's all right. Pally Poppy saying, now Country Kong, that is trolling that poor man. No, I think that, Country Kong has actually showed support for Malachi consistently. He's not being facetious. I think he's actually being honest. I may be completely wrong, though. Salute to Country Kong from Kev Rodriguez, Knicks Nation. We here. That's right. He is here today, and we're all about it. We are glad to have you here. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, Lex, I have to say your mic is great quality. The impact and reverb on my iMac is very professional. Thank you. Thank you. We're trying to upgrade the show. I like it up high like this. It's off to the side. I don't have to crouch. I can sit in a kind of a comfortable position. It's not a big deal. Kev saying, yeah, I like the kid Precious. He's going to help out. We need a backup for JU. He always gave the Knicks fits. Yeah. I think that honestly, y'all are going to be very happy with Precious over time. In fact, when I said the Kyle Lowry deal with Miami, I felt like Goran Dragic was like the packing peanuts for the actual Precious cargo that we wanted. And that was the talent and the possibility of what Precious Achiuwa could become. In some ways, he was the most important part of the Lowry deal for us. And well, now we passed it on to y'all. And I really do think he's going to make a leap next year and become an even better player. I'm predicting this just on my acumen of watching basketball for many years, that Precious is going to be a very good player next year. And y'all are going to reap the rewards for it. Watch. As long as you keep him. You got to keep him this summer. That's the only thing. Kevin's saying, hope SGA plays for us after his OKC contract. Well, RJ came back. He's showing that this is possible. And yeah, I'd love to see Gilgeous-Alexander in a Raptors jersey. Oh my gosh. Yes, I would. If RJ's starting a trend, I'm all about it. I am all about it. Oh yeah, I am. Let's see. Randolph saying, hey, Lex, they should play Jonte ahead of Thaddeus for development. Let's win or lose with our developing players and our regulars. I completely agree with this, Randolph, that Jonte Porter should get minutes tonight over Thad Young. I think that that's what should happen. Yeah. And Kev saying the Raptors front office didn't get us, though. Laugh out loud. I don't know. We know this whole history of James Dolan being a little kind of wishy-washy about dealing with the Raptors just because of Bargnani. Come on. We got to bring up the Bargnani. And then the whole Lowry thing that I talked about. Like, you guys had Kyle Lowry. He was coming to y'all's house to be at Madison Square Garden. And the Knicks nixed the trade at the end. And in some ways, I've heard since that it's because Dolan does not trust dealing with the Raptors. And, well, you guys dealt with us again. I mean, it is whatever. I want to be respectful to you guys. In some ways, we'll see. We can't just decide this trade is this at this point. It's way too early. So we're going to have to see how things go over time. And in some ways, I think the trade is even too. I think that people undersell just how good OG is. And that's part of the problem with maybe some people saying that the Raptors obviously won the deal. Well, OG is a really special player, and there's only one OG in this league, and you guys got him now, and that's it right there. Let's see, Kev saying the trade evened out for both teams. All right, I'm going to agree with him. As a diplomat, I'm not going to try and say, okay, we beat him. No, we don't know, so we're going to say this is just even at this point. Pally Poppy saying, keeps telling yourself that, Kev. Let's be nice to our guest. Both teams got what they needed. I agree with that. Tristan saying, yes, Kev, at times here he showed shades of Siakam. Randall is a similar player. He's definitely a power forward, not a center. Yeah, I never liked Precious playing the 5, and he had to play backup 5 this year, and I didn't like it. If Koloko had been healthy, this wouldn't have happened. And that's why Bobby Webster needs to get more centers on this team. Kev saying, last year, y'all wanted 3 first-round picks, and y'all got a second-round pick only. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I don't even like any of the rumors from before. I don't trust any of them. If there's any kind of thing said about this is what was offered and this was offered, so much of that is so untrue that I really don't listen to any of like the former offers or anything like that. They could have said that was what it was. Some people were saying that we were trying to get 6 first-round picks for Anunoby last year. A lot of it's hogwash and garbage. I only go by what happened in reality and just look at it that way. Let's see. Knicks did not get fleeced. Yeah, that's fine. I listen. I'll respect, Kev. You're a nice guy and you're good. I'll lay it down on that narrative right now. There's no reason for me to push that right now, out of respect of you guys, Milbester and Kev. Let's see. Pally Poppy saying, "Oh, is that all we got, Kev?" And Tristan saying, especially seeing OG getting all that love. I'm really happy that OG got a standing ovation for fouling out. It's awesome. I mean, it's a curious pairing. It really is because OG is such an interesting personality. He really, really is. Y'all are gonna like him a lot, but he's quirky. He is very quirky. He's very, very weird. In some ways, he's a very weird guy. Pally Poppy's saying, well, Barrett was just taken third overall himself. That's right. We got, in some ways, he outranks Scott as far as highest draft pick on our team at this point. I think the highest draft pick on our team is the number 3 pick, RJ Barrett, and Scotty's number 4. And then after that is what, Grady or Jakob? Jakob's like number 8. But most of our guys, Otto's a high pick too. Otto Porter Jr. was a high pick too. Tristan's saying OG was and is exactly what the Knicks wanted and needed. They've wanted him for a long time. They landed that plane. He's arrived. And now he's in their jersey. It looks weird to us Raptors fans, but I'm sure it looks weird to see RJ Barrett in a Raptors jersey also. Cool Cat saying we have to understand the U.S. media needs the face of the league to be in the U.S. so they can make money. It's entertainment business first. Yeah, that can be pertained to Kawhi. And keep this in mind for people that are getting bigger and better on our team also, that they want to expand them, make Fred more something in Houston, make OG something more in New York. In some ways, we are a team that makes people get paid, and we send superstars out of here. Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell, the guys recently too. Yeah. Let's see. Kev saying at Pally Poppy, wait till you need RJB to hit the G. We wait till we need RJ Barrett to hit the 3. We'll have to see. I know he's going to have a mix of failure and success. I said this yesterday. I'm going to ride and die with RJ Barrett, whether he makes it or misses it. And in some ways, I'm not going to get down on him because I know there's a certain amount of failure that comes with success. And in some ways, in the environment of the Knicks fan nation, he's over analyzed and maybe over criticized. And I'm not going to do that here on this channel. I'm going to allow him a lot of leeway to, fail and not be exactly right. I see Knicks fans coming in and looking at our box score from Monday and pointing out the 5 turnovers and the -7 of RJ Barrett. And I'm like, okay, but he did shoot 50% and he did play a very solid team game that helped us win. So in some ways, I'm about results. I'm not going to be nitpicking RJ like New York's Knicks nation did for the years he was there. I'm going to be very, very fair to him. And in some ways, he's going to get the Canadian discount for being a hometown boy. And I'm just going to be like, oh, I'll look the other way on that and on that too, RJ, because you're a winner. And I'm not going to be so nitpicky that I'm going to point out every single wart about your box score. Because I've seen people from Knicks Nation coming. He's not even on y'all's team anymore. You're coming in and looking at our box score and pointing out this is what RJ's wrong on this. Listen, he's not on your team anymore. We're not going to do that like y'all do. Some of the Raptors Nation will, but they're the toxic part. Let's see. Wayne saying, talking Precious. I remember the series against the Sixers, and he was awesome. And we all said, wow, next season looks good. And it never happened. Injuries, yes. Nick Nurse, yes. And Precious getting in his head. Well, the injury that happened to Precious in the fall of the next season was huge. He, in fact, had the longest period of time that he couldn't play basketball in his whole entire NBA career, or his whole entire basketball career, not just NBA, but college, high school, everything. That period of time when he was on the shelf for that injury was really bad for the momentum that he built from the year before. And that's a big part of it right there. Pally saying, Kev, wait till you see what RJ becomes. We'll have to see. And he's saying, wait till you need RJ to hit that 3-point shot or play defense on the opposing team's best defender. Good luck with that. Well, we don't need him to play the best defender because we got Scott. And we also got Pascal. And in some ways, those two guys are better defenders than RJ. Not RJ, Randall. Better than Randall and certain other guys. So we've got backup guys that can do this stuff. And in some ways, he doesn't have to do the heavy lifting on defense. We got Jakob Poeltl, we got Scotty Barnes, and we got Pascal Siakam. So in some ways, RJ's a little bit off the hook with some of the defensive pressure that he had to hold for you guys in New York, because in Toronto, he has a different supporting cast. And Scotty Barnes is going to be a defensive player of the year himself. Watch. So let's see. And as far as hitting threes, I'll live and die with him shooting a big shot at the end of the game to try and win it for us. We win it, we win it. We lose it, we lose it. I don't care. Either way, I know we're going to win more than we're going to lose in the long run. Tristan saying, and in reference to Wayne, yeah, I think his confidence dipped, but when it's 3, you see what happens. Yeah, when it's there. Yeah, Precious has got confidence. It's not. It's something weird. I don't know. In some ways, it's him not making boneheaded plays and getting opportunities. That's what he needs. Pally Poppy saying, I got a fleece sweater on this morning. Oh my gosh, Nameless is gonna do that still. Is that I've been waiting on 5 years for it. So good luck, bro. He's been waiting for RJ to be clutch for 5 years. Well, I'm gonna say this. Watching RJ, because I haven't watched him very closely in New York. I do know he's over scrutinized in New York, and he's kind of gotten labels from New York Nation. That's absolutely not fair in some ways. He had a mixed bag in FIBA. There were games where he disappeared. He didn't do anything. There were games where he did not shoot well. I watched all the good and the bad of RJ Barrett in the FIBA games for Team Canada, and I understand him to a degree of his lumps. He may be a shooter and he may not make a lot of the shots. But the luxury of our team is we've got a lot of different people. And that night, maybe he's not going to be a scorer because he just doesn't have the shots. And he'll be more concentrating on doing glue guy stuff, whether it's getting rebounds, setting up plays for other guys. Maybe he gets a better defensive play out of him on our team because he has better defenders around him and that he can actually do better on defense. In some ways, he's going to find ways to help us win. And it's in some ways, some of the pressure on his shoulders in New York is not here in Toronto. It's not here because Siakam and Barnes are carrying that kind of stuff. So it's a different fit. It's a different fit in some ways. And some of the pressure that was on RJ in New York is not here in Toronto. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see. I'll live and die with him taking threes because I saw him at FIBA take huge shots in clutch and helped us win as Canada. So I'm all about it. Pally Poppy saying you didn't have to be didn't have the personnel to do it. And my fleece sweater is thicker than yours. You guys are hilarious. Well, at least it's winter and y'all are dressing appropriately to not catch a cold. That's what I would say. Carlos saying it's so weird. We made a deal with the Knicks, even with the lawsuit. I know. Does this have any factor or bearing on the lawsuit? Are they going to be even more litigious because they may feel like they may have screwed up? Like seriously. Like, is James Dolan be like, damn it, this trade, what happened? Now I want another $1 million on the lawsuit. Is this what's going to happen for this? Is like, is he really going to push this thing even more? I don't hear anything about this stupid lawsuit. I feel like this lawsuit is going nowhere. Is basically what's happening. Kev saying, hope you can keep Quick as well. He wants 25 plus million. Good luck with that. I'll pay him. I said yesterday, I'd pay him for 5 years, 100 million. Yeah, I'll pay him 20. I don't know. Let's negotiate. We'll talk to him. We'll see what's up. We'll see how he fits. See if he likes it here too. And we'll see what's up. I think he likes it. I think he's going to fit. And in some ways, there's some money allocated this summer for the Raptors to do some moves. So he's a restricted free agent. If we value him, Masai and Bobby don't mess around. They keep guys. They kept Jakob after the trade last year. They kept Thad after a trade to get him here. I'm pretty sure the pattern's going to hold with Quickly. So Pally Pappy's saying both RJ and Quickly have a higher potential ceiling than OG. Plus, you took all of our dead weight. Yeah, I can't argue with what Nameless is saying here. In some ways, I mean, Precious has potential, but Malachi's definitely dead weight. And OG is further along in his career. In some ways, we've tried to discover OG being more of an offensive threat and being more of an consistent offensive guy every night. It's just not happening with him. I don't know what it is. His dedication is to the defense. He's going to give you that baseline. He'll shut off the other guy on the other team. But on some nights, that may be all he gives you. You may not get hardly any stats from him other than he shut down somebody like Luka Doncic for you. And that's great because that's a very useful thing. It's a very powerful thing. But you will see OG get like 8 points and like 6 rebounds and like 2 assists and 3 steals. And that's it. That may be his stat line at times. And it's just how it goes with him. Now, it's not very often you're going to see him get to 30 points like he did in MSG earlier this season. It's not very often you're going to see that. And if you're expecting OG to expand into some sort of crazy good offensive player from where he was in Toronto, it's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's kind of already hitting his potential as offense. If he's more consistent and he works on it more, it may be more a detriment to his defensive stuff. And that's the thing that he cares about the most. So in some ways, expecting a consistent high level of offense from OG night in, night out is not realistic. I'm just going to say that right now. Let's see. Kev saying, and let's see how Quick plays versus those really good contending teams. Yeah, that's part of the thing. And we're in test mode. We're going to play some good teams on this West Coast road trip. And let's see and discover more about how they play and how we do. And I'm excited. I feel good about what we're doing right now. And I think we're going to be all right. Jillian saying, Carlo, it's another division of the company. And I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Laugh out loud. All right, let's see. Carlos saying we're going to give him money. We don't have a lead guard locked up. Yeah, I could see us very much investing in Emmanuel Quickly. He's on more of a time schedule with Scott. In some ways, we're talking a lot about the bonds with him and Scott and what could be possible between Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly for the long term. And I'm all about the ideas and the possibilities with that for sure. Kev saying playoffs quick was a no-show before he got hurt. Good luck with that. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't watch you guys that closely. I do know he's got that Kentucky dog in him. And if he gets a redo, maybe it was his first time in the playoffs. I don't know what it was. In some ways, hey, that's the past. I mean, he's going to get better as a player. You can't just expect him to be the same player just that year, every single year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And Tristan say, why? Why are we beefing? I'm with you on that. Tristan, you're getting a dunk for that. Yo, why are we beefing? Why are we beefing? We're no reason to beef. Everything's nice. Everything's nice and good. And I'm going over time. I don't care. Let's see. Carlos saying good luck with Malachi and Precious. Gifts that keep on giving. I love Precious. I think Precious is a fantastic player for them to acquire. I'm not going to say that about Malachi. Kev saying we play in 2 weeks. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, we'll come to Madison Square Garden and play you guys on your home court. And then this will be a very good indicator of things with the trade. I think a lot of people will be talking about this on that day. This may indicate who won the trade, who wins that game. So we'll have to see. Pally Poppy saying Quickly has a long career ahead of him. Yeah, I like that. And of course, Quick is a great player. I'm going to miss him. See, that's part of what people are saying and why they may be upset in both ways. And people put down OG going out. Nobody's to do that. We love OG. OG's a great player. And he's going to do good things for the Knicks and vice versa. Knicks fans that love RJ and they're a little hurt that he's gone now, they may downgrade him and talk trash about him or do what Kev's doing with Quickly right now. It's not necessary. We know in some ways part of it is the sadness of losing the player and going to another team. We feel it about OG. Trust me, we do. And in some ways, there's no reason to denigrate them on the way out. Yeah, good two-way player. Yeah, Quickly's a good two-way player, and OG may be the best two-way player in the league. I don't know about his offense getting much better for y'all. I'm just saying. Pally Poppy's saying, as you should, you're going to miss him more in years. All right, let's be nice. Let's be nice. And Kev saying better defender than TJB for sure. I'm not sure who that initials are. TJB. Who is that? TJB. Talon Jared. I don't know. Oh, RJ. He meant to say RJ. I think he meant RJ. Okay, yeah, he did. In the next one. I hope y'all keep him. I want to keep both of them, and I think we're going to be all right. Tristan saying, yeah, I see he's got that good defensive mind, Kev. He wants the bag. Hey, listen, Quickly plays at a certain level. Messiah and Bobby have been known to pay people. Paul's saying, I want Naz Reid. Feels like a three-point shooting center is what we need. Naz Reid's a great player. If he showed up and he played in a Raptors jersey, I would not be upset. Tristan saying, notice it right away. Very good. Laugh out loud. The mic. Pappy is saying, and guys, I'm going to try and finish it soon because I am at 3 hours now. And that's usually my limit is 3 hours. I'll run through all these. No more comments, though, guys. Don't add any more to the end. Oh, yeah, this is way a lot more than I thought. A lot more than I thought. Pally Poppy is where I am. And what was he saying? Holy crap. Yeah, you guys are filling it up too much, Knicks, guys. We kind of want to get in and get out in some ways when we do these streams. Okay. Here we go. Pally Poppy saying, we are hoping players force us to give them the bag. Don't threaten us with a good time. Yeah, that's the whole point. We want them to make the money. Tristan, his leadership is off the chain. Okay, I like that. Tristan saying, by the way, Kev, Precious is actually really good with guarding guards. Yep. He said, I seen that. Tristan saying, yeah, Kev, right away, he was telling guys what to do on the floor. That's good. Quickly, yeah. Most saying, W stream, Lex. Keep at it always. Good times. Go Raptors. Let's keep climbing. Thank you, Monique, for the cutoff. Let's see if anybody paid attention. Kev saying, Tristan, he's like that, bro. You'll see, very likable kid. I like him so far. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. You'll see him on the sidelines coaching players up. I'm going to miss that. It looked like all these guys are doing it. I've seen Dennis on the sidelines doing it. I've seen Scotty very engaged. If he's not in the game, clapping and cheering the guys on for defense in the last game. This is the kind of stuff I was talking about, and Dennis was too. The Scotty is up there cheering for his teammates, even when he's not in the game. He's very like, come on, let's go. Milbester's saying the good thing with RJ is Toronto is that he focuses on basketball and always improving his game to get better. As a 3rd overall pick, it's the same draft cast with Zion, Witten, and Ja. RJ had less drama. Yeah, I think he's had a lot less drama than both of them. And I'm not worried about the issues with Zion and Ja Morant with RJ Barrett. That's for sure. Tristan's saying also they bring great communication with the Raptors. Haven't had much of. This is a big boon and plus. Dog, clutch, winning ways, communication, a dedication to want to win. Milbester's saying Zion and Ja have had their injuries and media issues, but RJ has never been in that spotlight, stays out of trouble, which is good on and off the court. Yeah, I like that. And now saying wham, bam, slam, Raptor Freak Crew with the jam, spicy barbecue lineup cooking, Pascal, Barnes, Barrett, quickly, smash it, pass it, dash it, splash it. Someone said Quick looks like Meta World Peace, laugh out loud. I can see a little bit of the facial resemblance of Ron Artest and Manuel Quickly. Yeah, a little bit. It's somewhere in the nose and the eyes area. That's kind of like Ron and our Panda Bear friend and Quickly. Cool Cat saying Pascal is a great mentor for Scotty, professionally and personally. Scotty has said many times Pascal is his favorite player. They have big brother, little brother relationship per Pascal. I agree with this, and I want to keep this going, and I want another brother to be added to the mix, our new big 3, RJ Barrett. I want Scotty to have another big brother now, and RJ and him to have a very much a brother friendship also. I think that they're a natural fit. I think that their personalities actually will get along. And I think that in some ways, Scotty and RJ have so much in common that in some ways it'll be easy for them to bond. It's much different than Dennis. Dennis doesn't have as much in common with Scotty as RJ does. So I think that if they have the similar, it's very much like Fred and Norman. Fred and Norman may not saw eye to eye exactly when they first met each other on the Raptors, but as they worked with each other, they discovered that they had the same passion for wanting to win and doing their views on basketball were very similar. And I'm hoping that this kind of thing can happen with RJ and Scotty, that they've come and discover and talk more with each other on this West Coast trip. And they realize that they have so much in common about how they view the game. And that will bond them. That really was a huge reason why Norman Powell and Fred VanVleet became best friends, is because they bonded over how they looked at the game and how they're dogging them. I want the same thing with Barrett and Barnes. And I think it's naturally going to happen. I see it happening. I mean, Scotty's a smart guy and RJ is too. And in some ways, if they can really work out their friendship and their relationship as teammates, this could be a very, very wonderful partnership. Much like the Siakam and Barnes one also. And another thing was Siakam and Barrett. I want Siakam and Barrett to work off each other really well too. So I just want everybody to play really well together. And I want to continue to see that like we did on Monday. Jillian's got the 12 o'clock. Shorten your comments, freaks. Lex got to go to Adriana. She's not here today. I'm not going to see her today, unfortunately. But I do have work I need to do this afternoon. Tristan saying Darko said he thought first half ball got too sticky, which is the half we scored the most points. That's why I'm saying, why does he want to make adjustments to what's working? We'll see. Go Raps. I think in some ways the really good first quarter against the Cavs was the 3-point shooting was absolutely off the charts in a way that we have not experienced as Raptors fans this year. A lot of teams get really hot 3-point shooting quarters like that. But hey, look, our new guys are here and boom, we're going to have a 41-point first quarter with a ton of threes in it. That I hope we see more often in quarters coming forward. We should have a quarter like that every single game. And hopefully it can be the first quarter because that gets us off to a good start and puts us in the double-digit lead instead of a team like the Cavs having the double-digit lead for most of the game. So I don't know. That was a weird comment in the after game press conference with Darko when he said that ball was too sticky in the beginning of the game. I didn't totally understand that either, Tristan, because we were super successful on offense in the first half of that game. Yeah, I didn't totally understand that comment by Darko. Randolph saying, Lex, the trade gave us opportunity to stop being so toxic and negative. Let's be grateful and give the team in front office some time before we go back down that path. Boom goes the dynamite. And Randolph Phillips is getting a dunk for this. And this is exactly what I was trying to say earlier. If not clear enough or in some ways confusing with you guys, and you guys I maybe weren't being that negative. It's just that we were interpreting it a little bit. Mugabe saying, Lex, the toxic Leaf fans are leaking into the Raptors fan base. Well, this is part of the problem. Every time we do something good, whether it's Siakam getting 36, whether it's Scotty blowing up, they're going to say the counterpoint. Siakam needs to be traded. He shouldn't be on this team. The team's doing too good. Let's sully them. Leaf Nation is not really our friend. They're like a frenemy. In some ways, they're gauging the Raptors cannot be doing better than the Leafs all the time because they want to worry about the Leafs primarily. Their first focus and number one on their list is the Maple Leafs. And the Raptors are a secondary rooting interest. So if anything's going to hurt the Leafs, and as far as the Raptors being more popular or getting more shine or winning more, they'll push down from within our nation. That's part of the action right there. I agree, Mugabe. You're exactly right. Kev's saying, y'all helped us well. We need a defense and a shooter. Yeah, I think that it really is a one hand washes the other kind of deal. And Kev Rodriguez, welcome. I appreciate you, man. I know that some of the people in the chat, you guys are kind of going at each other, but that's healthy. And nobody's being personal. And it's kind of witty banter about the fleece jacket. Oh, I got a fleece jacket. It's good shit talk. And it's not getting to a point where I'm like, this is toxic. So it's good. We need a backup in Precious as well. Yeah, it helps. I think Precious is, in some ways, a really hidden gem that you guys got in this deal that you guys are going to be very happy about as time goes on. Let's see. Tristan saying, yeah, you guys are higher in the standings. An addition of OG will certainly help your cause. See, Tristan thinks he's going to help you guys get more wins. Jillian's saying, yes, Randolph, grateful for the trade. Wayne Strainer, no stress. And in reference to nicknames, cheers. She's not upset that you wrote in Gil and it's Jill, and I misread it. It's all good. I call you more Jill all the time. Jill, if that's okay. Cool Cat saying, I just saw a clip of Open Gym where Pascal and Darko were playing football, goofing around. It was so funny to see them goofing. OG was all smiling and cracking up with Gary Trent Jr. Yeah, there's these old clips that have been resurfacing lately, whether it's the Happy New Year's clip of Jakob and Pascal from like their rookie year. And then there's a clip of OG and Pascal goofing around in a car that came up recently. There's a lot of really cool kind of clips going on right now. I'm going to have to look for that one you're talking about with Pascal and Darko. Wayne saying, Lex, how does Quickly and RJ help improve Boucher and McDaniels? I think a positive impact on Gary Trent Jr. has huge potential. Let's see. I'm all about this. I think that Gary did have some positive things happen. His stat line didn't look exactly right on the other night, but he was getting more steals. He was getting more involved defensively. He was rebounding pretty good. He's finding other ways to contribute. Now, if he makes his open shots, he should have better open shots with the new guys around. So he should help Trent. Now, we didn't see Jalen McDaniels at all on Monday. He was a sacrificial lamb for the new guys coming in and taking the minutes. And Boucher was in there for a hot cup of coffee and not for very long. So in some ways, this is something we're going to have to discover more as Darko cycles in more of the different Raptors with the new guys and seeing what kind of potential synergy and chemistry he can happen upon. That's part of it. We're back in discovery mode. Once again, it's like we're at the beginning of the season again, and we got to see which lineups work really well together and need to be out there together more often. Tristan's got the high five and the love for Siakam. I love it. And Carlos saying that I love it how Winders is now a verb. I know we Winders this shit. I mean, that's just how it is. It's been a year of the Winders since he did this thing on ESPN, and it became a meme and everything. I love Winders thing. It's half of what I do on this channel. I'm going to Winders this. It is a verb. It's kind of funny. Masai's getting love from Wayne Strainer. I love it. Let's see. Jill saying that you're right, Lex. Remember when Buffalo Bills tried so hard to get Toronto interested in supporting them? It failed royally. But what you're saying is a reminder to me of how insular Americans seem to me. They really are. I know from growing up in Tallahassee, Florida. I mean, I had a father-in-law that was the head of the Division of Highway Safety. In fact, he was in charge of all the Florida highway patrolmen in the whole state of Florida, and his name was the signature on all the licenses of the Florida driver's license. This is my former father-in-law when I was married. And well, he was a very worldly person, you would think. No. He told us when we moved to Canada, his youngest daughter and I came back to Canada and started our married life here in Canada. He said, well, I'm never going to see y'all. I'm not coming to Canada. And this is a guy who's high-ranking government official in the state of Florida at that time. He said, I only go to the Bahamas. That's the only time I step foot off of American soil. Because that's his mindset. And this is a wealthy person. This is somebody who would be considered one percenter. This is somebody who's ensconced in the Florida government. And he's got that mentality, that closed-minded mentality. He won't even come see his youngest daughter that she married a Canadian guy and they're living in Toronto. You guys have kids? Well, I'm not going to ever see them because I'm not coming up there. I'm telling you, it is a very prevalent thing. And I know from the inside because I grew up there. I was around these people. I know how they think. I grew up in Florida, in Tallahassee. I sat in trailer parks with people's ignorant views, drunk on some corn syrup or whatever, cough syrup, and just acting stupid. It's like, yeah, I never go to Canada. I don't know how you lived up there, Lex. How did you live up there? Canada sounds like communism. I've been around these people. I understand their mindset. And in some ways, it informs the opinions I have on this channel. Let's just put it that way. Milbester saying, I'm just excited for this year, even as the NBA season is almost ending before the playoffs. Spring training and MLB season is 2 months away. And next year is the WBC qualifiers for the 2026 WBC. You're skipping the Olympics, my man. The Olympics are this summer for 2024. Paris, baby. USA, Canada, Germany, Serbia, France. Oh my gosh. You've got to include the Olympics in this, man. Summer Olympics are going to be fire this year with international basketball plays. It's going to be so fun this summer. Yeah. Let's see. Milbester saying, after this past March's WBC, international baseball entered its prime, and I'm just excited for what's ahead. It sounds like you're a really big baseball fan also, Milbester. Very interesting. He's also saying Raptors were 12th in the East, but the East is going to be crazy before the season ends. Knicks have to play 3 games with the Heat, Pacers, and Magic, all ahead of us in East, and 2 more with Toronto. Yeah, it's not settled yet. I don't have any faith in the Nets. There's a couple of teams that are above us right now that I think are going to fall below us by the end of the season. I really hope the Raptors can get to a top 6, but I don't think it's probably possible, and we'll probably be in the higher end of the play-in bracket. Hopefully we're in the top 2 in the play-in bracket and we're 7 or 8. But at least making the play-in will be good in some ways. Some fans of the Raptors will be like, you're an idiot. We should not want to make anything if it's going to be a play-in. Play-in for what? But I still say the experience for people like Scotty is important to get postseason stuff and reps and that kind of stuff. Kate Cunningham ain't going to be nowhere near the playoffs still in a couple years in the NBA. And the more playoff experience that Scotty gets over people like Cade, Franz, Jalen Green, Josh Giddey, whoever, the better. And that's what I'm all about. I want to get Scotty playoff experience. Wayne Strainer saying, with Pascal, Scotty at their average output, Quickly and Barrett theirs, and somebody else like a Trent at least 10 points, that's equals wins. Factor in Jakob. Wow, we're truly a problem for teams. Yep. And yep. Shere Khan's here. Good to see Shere Khan. Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Let's go, Raps. Get this win. Great stream, Lex. See y'all tomorrow to talk more. We the North. Winter is coming. We beware of the Raps. Shere Khan's my guy. I'm going to go ahead and give Shere Khan a dunk. He is my guy. He's my dude. And there you go. You got your first dunk of the year, Shere Khan. Let's see. Milbester saying Gary's a good size for point guard. I'll admit, I like Trent a lot. I really hope Malachi gets more minutes with us because the only advantage he has over McBride is his offense, but Tibbs loves Deuce. No, he has a lot of advantages. McBride does over Malachi. I'm not even going to say that Malachi has a shooting advantage over him. I will not say that. Cool Cat saying, I don't want to see OG defending Pascal or Scotty. Competing against our buddies is breaking my heart. That's going to be fun. Actually, I'm going to really enjoy that. I'm going to want to see OG try and stop Pascal. And we know Siakam cannot be stopped. So let's put the ultimate stress test on him. OG and Pascal have been playing each other for years in practice. So it's just going to be fun to see it in real life. Yeah, OG on Scotty, that could be very fun. Milbester saying it's true, Raptors Freak. I saw Tibbs' press conference after they won Monday night, and he loves players that play defense. He's going to love OG, Precious, Deuce, Grimes, all defensive players. Yeah, and even Malachi's, that may be his best strength. Honestly, he's a good defensive guard. He's not as good a shooter. In some ways, he's a good defender, is probably his best strength. So he might like him too for certain reasons like that. All right, let's see who Trevor J get these two. PBA Slob got one of the gifts. Blackhawk got one. Roger Raymond. Igor Volkov. Yes, my friend. And Firebolt. Good group. We got a couple of regulars on there, Igor and Blackhawk and Firebolt. Roger, PBA, thanks for dropping in. You got a membership with the thing. Now, I will say this, Igor, Neil, Firebolt, if you guys are on Facebook and you have not found me on Facebook, come find me on Facebook because you're members now and you can be a part of our 24/7 Raptor Freak chat where Monique, Trevor J, and myself are constantly posting stuff about the Raptors. If there's an interview, if there's something going on with Raptors media, you get that access to it easily. You don't even have to go find it. We're going to put it in there for you right away, and you can have it, and you get a one-stop place to get all the Raptors information in the Raptor Freak official Facebook chat. So members have the privilege to come and join us. So and now that you're members, just follow the instructions, and you can become a member involved in our Facebook chat. And I do live reactions during the games in the comments. I don't do it online through the camera, but I will type in my reactions during the games in that Facebook chat. So if you want live Lex reactions during the games, this is the best way you can get it as a member of this channel and joining our Facebook group. So yeah, follow the instructions, guys, if you got a new membership, and you can join us. Now, let me know it's who you are, especially if you have a different handle name, like, Blackhawk, whatever your name is, Neil, on Facebook. If you want to join and come in there, you'll see everybody that's in this chat. A lot of us are already in there. Milbester saying Catco, Hartenstein probably guards Siakam anyway. That January 20th game is going to be crazy. Everyone's seeing from the trade at MSG. Must-watch game. Expect Randall on Scotty and OG on Siakam with rotations. Yeah, I think that sounds all pretty accurate. Tristan saying, like what I saw from Grimes at Mel Bester, and I bet him and the other guys will be able to step up more. Yeah, even though Scotty says he is not him, Grimes is an interesting young player. He's on the rise, that's for sure. Trevor Jace getting a clap from Pally, and all love. And Denal saying, man, these membership gifts are always so random. I never get it. It's all good. Denal, I remember you were a member at one point. You did have the green next to you at one point, I believe. Mobester saying Grimes is getting more minutes now because of the trade. IQ took most of the minutes off the bench. Grimes benefited from the trade, gets more playing time. I could see that. And Pally Poppy saying Coloco's heart looks fine to me, cheering on the sidelines. Yeah, it's not his heart. It's respiratory issues. Tristan saying, exactly, Mel. OG will give them space, the ball, and assists when he cuts to the basket. Yeah. He still has a long way to go with parts on his offense, but still a good defender and makes threes. He has to work on his ball handling, more setup plays on offense for him. Talking about Quentin Grimes. And Tristan said, you guys look really good out there, Mel, on Monday. Yeah, you guys were playing the top team in the West, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and y'all handled business very, very well. OG had a big part in why we beat them on opening night. The first ever win for Darko Rajakovic was against Minnesota Timberwolves at home for the Raptors opening schedule. First game, and OG was a big part of helping us. And in particular, in that game, I remember he really did clamp down Edwards once again, and he did help with the big guys too. Carlos saying OG is cerebral. He watches film over and over to determine how he's going to defend people. This is something that Coach Darko said at the beginning of the year when he met OG. He said, I want OG to be a coach someday because he really does a good scouting report on the other team defensively. And in some ways, he has a job in as a coach later on because of his preparation. So know that about him, Knicks Nation, that he is preparing like on the defensive end, overly preparing more better than anybody in some ways. Let's see. Milbester saying, yeah, the offense looks better with our front court defense. OG is going to help us a lot defensively with Hartenstein and Randall. OG doesn't have to do too much, and it helps the team. Yeah, just don't expect him to be a consistent scorer night in, night out. That's just not something he's done in his whole career. Tristan saying, yep, Mel, that's exactly what he wants, so I'm sure it'll work out. And yeah, that looked crazy. Same with DiVincenzo. They seem to have good defense. The intensity seemed to increase, more energy, and Precious allows Josh Hart to guard some other guys. Yeah, all right. When Mitch got hurt, their front court defense got hit badly, but the trade helped protect the front court because we got dominated by other teams, and the paint without him also helps the Hartenstein. Okay, we're getting a little too Knicks here. Tristan saying, I think Precious and Hartenstein can be a great pairing. I could see that. I knew OG was going to fit in well on defense with Hartenstein. Both of them are tall and great defenders, and Randall really playing well for us also. So the rotation now is Scotty, RJ, Quickly, Siakam, and then Schroeder, Gary, and Grady. The starters are Scotty, RJ, Quickly, Siakam, and Jakob. And Schroeder and Gary are the first guys off the bench with Boucher and Otto Porter Jr., and maybe Jalen McDaniels, Thaddeus Young, maybe Jonte Porter. We'll have to see. Grady's not going to be playing for the Raptors for a little bit, so he's not going to be there. Yeah, you haven't seen Grady. He's having to put on weight. We're sending him to the weight room, and we're doing some weight training with him before he's ready to come back and compete. So he is not playing for us at this time. 12:30, yikes. I'm at 1 now. I'm like an hour over, so I've really gone over my time today, guys. We really do need to kind of respect the cutoffs, guys, at this point. In some ways, I should just say I'm done. I'm leaving. Wayne's saying the only way this deal gets done, both sides getting what they wanted. Knicks sued the Raptors. There's a case in court right now. Forget the media. Both teams came out well. Great deal. That's right. And Tristan saying, yeah, Mel, still working with Otto and Jalen McDaniels in the rotation. Grady's not playing much. He has a good program with the Raptors. I never understood that case anyway. Knicks got Brunson, and then Raptors started to do Russian espionage on us as if it was Vandersloot or something. Why would they spy on us anyway? It's a convoluted bullshit. It all has to do with Azotam. Azotam worked for you guys. We hired him this summer. He came across and came over and he brought his hard drive from y'all. And he had all y'all's plays from last year. In some ways, the argument is that we stole proprietary knowledge from you guys, but how did they even prove that it's not knowledge that anybody can go get in any kind of way? That's the whole problem. It's not like we were trying to do any Russian espionage. This is James Dolan having a problem with the NBA in certain ways and lashing out and giving them problems. In some ways, your owner has gone rogue, and he's already said, like, I'm off of the competition committee. I'm not doing this. He's not trying to work with the NBA and Adam Silver at this time. He's a rebel. And part of his lawsuit is just to prove a point and be a thorn in the side of not the Raptors necessarily, but Adam Silver and the NBA in general. He has a vendetta with the league. And that's really a whole lot of what's stemming from this whole stupid lawsuit. Yeah, we're an easy target. We're the team that he'd like to get at and mess with. And we're a byproduct of that. It could have been any team in this league. In some ways, I feel like this is some trumped up bullshit that he just made up to just cause problems for Adam Silver, because him and Adam Silver are feuding on the down low, just so you know. Let's see. Carlos saying, really excited for that open spot we have. We're going to have to see how we fill it, for sure. Jillian saying, Mel, with much, much respect, you're freaking me out a bit. I am an advanced ADHD, so thanks, but cannot necessarily retain all the information. Speculating in the Raps. Okay, there you go. So what happens to the lawsuit, assuming they drop the case after the trade and just let both teams slide? It's still there, and just nobody's talking about it. They'll resolve it at some point. And in some ways, I think that it's just going to get thrown out. Seriously, because the whole thing it hinges on is the Knicks proving that we took something that is secretive, and nothing that we took is that secretive. It's stuff that's on an app that people can go look at. It's stuff that we can go to, like ESPN. We can watch highlights and learn what the Knicks system is doing. It's not like we needed the playbook to understand what the Knicks are doing. We can just watch the clips of them playing last year. And plus, it's the playbook for last year. It's not even the new edition for this year. So it's a whole bunch of hot air, and it's just a distraction. And it's James Dolan thumbing his nose at Adam Silver and giving him a headache is really what it is. Firebolt saying, thank you very much, Trevor, for the membership. There you go. Firebolt, I want to see you on Facebook very soon. So you find me on Facebook and add me, bro, if you're on there. Yeah, it was Trevor J. Trevor J did it. Milbester saying, Jesus, they rose the toll again for the George Washington Bridge from New York to New Jersey. It's $15. It used to be like $7 around a decade ago. Are you kidding me? Just saw the news. Have family from New Jersey. That's messed up. I never like prices going up, especially because wages aren't going up. It's messed up. Fireball saying, haha, Tristan, I realized it as soon as I pressed it. And Milbester saying, how's Canada with tolls on bridges and transportation? Can't imagine. Well, I don't deal with any of that right now, at least. There is a toll highway north of Toronto that I do not use. I boycott it. The stupid premier Mike Harris a long time ago sold our roads to foreign investors. In fact, I think China makes the money off of our stupid toll road. I'm not even sure what country makes the money off of our stupid toll road, sucking on us like a vampire. No, I won't use the 427. Fuck that road. Fuck that stupid ass shit. And Ford's trying to build another one right now, idiot. Didn't we learn anything from selling our road out to the foreign investors? The road that we have that's a toll road up there, all that money goes sucked right out of Ontario to some foreign company out of our country and our economy. Stupid, stupid, stupid PC politicians selling out our public services and public lands for foreign investments like Therme and Ontario Place. That bullshit. Yeah, I'm sick of it. Progressive Conservative Party, you are fucking criminals, mafiosos, and you're running rackets to make line your own pockets by selling our public lands. That's what our problem is up here in Milbester, right there. That is it right there. Tristan's laughing. And Jill's saying, Lex, with Carlo, I was referring to the New York lawsuit that likely another division in the company as opposed to players. Cheers. Okay, you have defined what it was. And the short answer is I'm not going to understand what y'all are saying. Once again, that's the side conversations. Let's see. Drank water at 12:45 is 1:13. Time for more leftover turkey. Cool Cat saying, Milbester, no tolls on bridges here. Hang on. I got to get back to that Cool Cat comment. I feel like I'm almost there. Only Highway 407. You don't have to use it. Yeah, thank God. I will never use that road. Even when I live out near it, I'm not going to use it on purpose. Tristan saying, our main toll is 407 in Ontario, which can be paid for with a device on a dashboard like Easy Pass or after the fact. I don't believe these are traditional tolls. Yeah, in some ways, I'm not going to use that road ever. I'll go out of my way to avoid using that road. Milbester saying the good thing is that the GWB is the only one to pay the toll for $15, but from where I used to be $7 is ridiculous. My family is in Bergenfield and other parts of New Jersey. I can't travel to New Jersey much now. That's messed up. Man, whatever. You're making me mad with New Jersey, New York issues. Wayne saying, forgot that Chev's point. RJ and IQ are both 23 and 4. Not yet in their prime. OG's in his prime. Not much development happening there. This deal was for Knicks playoffs. Our deal is championship mode. Wow. I mean, this is true. OG's older than the other two guys. But yeah, I'm with this on this. Yeah, Passover, Milbester, total nonsense. Julia's saying, smash the like button, go Raps. Yeah, in some ways, it's ridiculous. Wayne, it's $7. I get it. All right, I get it. We don't need to keep going about this. Yeah. Yeah, in some ways, I got to be done, guys. All right, read this one. It's Raptors Freak. Do you remember the 2000s playoffs with Nets and Raptors? Were you at that time? And if you remember those days for the Raptors franchise when New Jersey had Carter, Kidd, and Jefferson, I hated those days. Yeah, I was there. I was there from the very beginning. Milbester, I was a fan of the Raptors before they named the team. As soon as they declared that the Toronto was going to get an NBA team, I was saying, that's my favorite team for the rest of my life. And it became that moment. They hadn't even named the team yet. So, yeah, I've been there for every part of the history of the Raptors. Yeah, I remember that. I hated it. I hated seeing Carter in the Nets jersey and playing better all of a sudden. I hated that big three. To this day, I still hate all three of those men you just named. I hate Jason Kidd. I hate Richard Jefferson. I hate that Richard Jefferson and Vince Carter are still on TV and their stupid asses are talking out of their ass and putting down Toronto often. Vince Carter is not friendly to the Raptors. In some ways, he's dissed us many, many times on the air, American Broadways. And he's part of the problem we talked about earlier. People sullying the Raptors and putting us down and making us look bad. And Jason Kidd, he's just a wife-beaten head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. That's what I look at as him. It's like, yeah, whatever. Jill's saying 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Yikes. Get the popcorn ready for the game. Yes, players can hear you from home. Yes, they can. Let's see. I've always been passionate for baseball my whole life and being a lifelong Yankee fan who goes to the games a lot all the time. My local team from Dominican Republic playing in round robin for LIDOM. That's pretty cool. Dominican's a hotbed for baseball. That's for damn sure. And there's a pro baseball league in Dominican Republic. My team in round robin play, they won last night. Just seeing all the winter ball league playoffs has been great too. Excited for Paris. Okay, so you are excited for the Olympics too. Awesome. All right, Blackhawk saying, what, I got a membership and Christmas is already passed. Damn, life is good. There you go, Neil. I want to see you on Facebook very soon, please. Milbester saying baseball got back to the Olympics because the schedule conflict, why it was taken out for the World Baseball Classic, but just international baseball in its prime. It's getting big in Europe. Once again, I'm not doing baseball. I'm not a baseball freak. I really don't care about baseball in some ways. I respect that you're a Dominican guy and you love the sport of baseball with your roots and the teams and stuff like that. That's fantastic. I am a big, huge hater of the Yankees. And I have to say that I am a Blue Jays fan. All right, let's keep going. Racing was saying another Lexathon. Let's go. All right, finally. Oh my gosh. 333 is where I'm going to finish here, right? What's the Raptors schedule? We're playing the Grizzlies tonight. That's the next game for us right now. All right, getting back to that. Derrick Rose is day-to-day right now. As far as the latest injury, he may not play today, but I'll bet you he might. Clark and Adams are out. Koloko is out for the Raptors, and that's it. Our referees are James Capers Jr., Brett Nansel, and Scott Wall. They all favor the Raptors instead of the Grizzlies. So there you go. There's your ref report. And that I could do a marquee main event matchup, and I actually have a microphone. So I'll do that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Memphis Grizzlies Arena in Memphis. Tonight we have a main event marquee matchup, and in this corner we have the visiting Toronto Raptors, and in this corner we have representing former New York Knick, Manuel Quickly. And in this corner for the Memphis Grizzlies, a great Knick legend and also Chicago Bulls legend, Derrick Rose. And today they're going to play Tiddlywinks. Why not? We'll just have Rose and Quickly playing some Tiddlywinks in the game. Two former Knicks on two new teams going to face each other tonight. Hopefully, if Derrick is healthy. We'll have to see. And we'll see how John Moran is as far as like coming back and being back in the lineup for the Memphis Grizzlies and see how that goes as far as things. So thanks for watching me today, guys. Yeah, you forgot that Rose was in Memphis. That's right. And Milbester's saying the East will be crazy. All right, Milbester, stop commenting. That's what that cutoff means, man. And when they do the scissors, that means nobody's supposed to be talking because I'm not supposed to talk after noon. And it's 1:30 almost. And I'm not supposed to go after noon. I started a half hour late because my mic didn't work. But yeah, it's all good, Milbester. I love you, bro. And thanks for coming back. And honestly, I appreciate both Kev and Milbester being here representing Knicks Nation and giving a balance of views here. It's very awesome. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow for a reaction to the game, and I'll be excited to hear y'all's opinions on how things go tonight with Memphis and the Raptors and starting off this road trip. 6-game road trip going out west. We're starting in Memphis tonight. Let's get off on the right good foot and get another win and be 2-0 in 2024. Let's go, Raptors. Keys to the win: play together, play smart, communicate, play tough, play to win, play the defense together, communicate, make your shots, trust each other. That's all the stuff you guys need to do. Play your roles, play winning plays. Scotty, get aggressive, go get the ball. RJ, do what you do. Siakam, you're the man. Just do what you do too. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go.